just to be sure. Wow, as here we are, my friends. Welcome back to Heroes. Let me try that one again. Sorry.
Whoa.
Had some Christmas sprinkles in my throat because I ate like 5 Christmas cookies before we got started here. But as let me just say this as we get ready here, we got people coming in the chat already. Right. It's a swell time. It's a bell time.
It's a bell time.
Okay. It's a bell time.
Bro, I love that.
This holiday. Okay.
I didn't know there were Wheel of Time Christmas songs. I did not know. Gosh.
Well, here we are, man. Season finale, which is crazy.
Yeah. I know. This is wild. And I'm in freaking Germany for this. This is what's nuts.
What do they even do in Germany for Christmas? You guys, they celebrate it over there?
Yeah, they got a
Is that where Chris Kringle's from?
I think it's where it all started. I don't know, but I mean,
it's Germany.
That's what they have, these Christmas markets though. It's like a fair. It's just like you're going to the fair, and tons of wine, food. It's awesome.
Yeah,
wild.
Did lose you there for a quick second, but that'll be all right.
Oh, dude, that might happen from time to time. So just
as in Germany for the finale, guys. So just be forewarned. There could be audio, glitches. Potentially.
The dark one.
The dark friends.
Yeah, let's see here. Just getting the old.
Here we go, man. Boom. I just heard myself. Oh, must be through his headset.
You can hear yourself through my headset?
Just when I get really loud and animated.
Hold on, let me turn it down. Let me turn you down here.
There we go.
There you go. Now you can get as loud as you want. By the way, I got a new headset simply because there is no way for like last time we used to do Zooms, I would do my good audio separate from the Zoom and layer it in. We're live.
Right.
Can't do that now. This stupid MacBook Pro I've got has USB-Cs.
Oh, okay. So you would need some sort of adapter. It sounds good. Your headset mic sounds really good.
Yeah. Just went and got a little gaming headset, and look at this. People pouring in already.
You doing an Amazon watch party? No, they've been doing a Heroes of the Horn watch party.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't do a watch party for the first episode. And if you notice, they push it an hour back.
Yeah.
Why? Because we're the official watch party.
We're the earliest known watch party.
That is a fact. I mean, I'm not making that up.
No, you're not. You are not.
You're either the dragon or you're not. Yeah, guys, it's a swell time. It's a bell time, as I'm just not going to stop saying it. And I'm just excited, not only because it's Christmas, but because what a great Christmas present. The Eye of the World.
I know. And the season finale, it's going to be epic, man. It's going to be lit. Like one power lit.
Although Beltane brings in the spring, right? I think so.
Does it?
Yeah, the night preceding Beltane is known as Winter Night.
Okay. I can't watch episode 2 tomorrow. Amanda. Come on now.
Okay, I don't think I have my screen. Okay, I don't have my screen share on anymore. I was trying to find Christmas music that we could play, but I don't know if we'd get flagged or not. I don't know what the licensing is.
Yeah, it might be copyright claiming us.
Yeah.
Which is baloney.
It's pretty ridiculous.
We just want to celebrate the season.
We're going to have to make our own. I mean, what's everyone's favorite, Christmas or holiday song? I'm a big fan of Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Yeah.
Frosty the Snowman.
Okay. Last Christmas, man,
Let's get out of here with that.
People hate it, but I mean, last year I gave you my heart, but this year, to save me from tears, I'm gonna give it to someone special.
From the Stone of Tear. You're gonna give. Yeah.
I'm gonna give.
We need to convert if you can convert Jingle Bells to Jingle Bells Batman smells, my God, we can convert something to be Wheel of Time Christmas song.
Yeah. Weezer Christmas album. Wow.
Jingle Bell Time is a swell time. I mean, a one-horse sleigh, that sounds like Bella. Okay? Bella sounds like a one-horse sleigh.
Let's see here. Let me get the tags in, guys. You got to get your tags in the video. Make sure people know what they're watching. There we go.
I'm pumped.
I mean, from what we've seen,
I'm like, this whole week I've been really amped up, but now that I don't work tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just feel kind of cool, calm, and collected going into this. It's gonna be crazy.
Good.
We're literally 19 minutes away from probably seeing Luce Theron.
Could you imagine?
Rudolph is Bella reborn. I could see it. Oh, holy night, the children of light. Wow.
Wow.
I'm out. I'm good on that one, man.
All right, here we go. Boom. Everything
Could we change Frosty the Snowman to Loyal the Ogier? Loyal the Ogier. He knew lots of things. I don't know.
Yeah, but he traveled the ways and he never came back.
Well, he does, as
he does.
That's not even
terrible.
God.
That's not even canon.
That's not even accurate.
That's about as accurate as a show.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Rafe was like, "Here's the books. Toss those." No, I'm just kidding. We did run a poll though, by the way. Let me see what everyone said. Over on our YouTube channel, we did run a poll. And we said thoughts on season 1 so far. 745 votes. I will screen share this. Screen share. 745 votes. You guys said 56% said love it, 26% said like it, 8% said it's okay, 10% said they took the books and threw them out the window.
Wow, that was an option on the poll. How dare you?
Yes. Well, there are people, man. Here we go. Let's see what everyone said. The show is great. However, it does have too much story crammed into too little time. Amazon, please give the writers more time per episode. There was actually something today that said that the Amazon said they're really committed to this show.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's the #1 streaming show.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Catherine, what we'll be doing here is we have a timer, and we'll be starting it. We'll be starting it all at the same time. We'll explain it once we get going here. And what we'll do is, so there's the timer. We'll reset it when we get there. But we do like a 3, 2, 1 shoot, and on shoot we all press play, and then we don't skip the recap and any of that stuff. So we all start it at the exact same time, or as close as you can, obviously, and then we all kind of watch it together live, and then afterwards we'll talk about it and hang out. Although Ezra is in Germany right now, so I'm guessing he's going to go hit play, and it's going to be like,
Oh man, don't be surprised if I have to pop out and just
just to watch it. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll see. We've got a special guest lined up too. We got our boy Ryan.
Yep, Ryan will be coming in as well once we
finish
he's clutch. Super clutch, guys. And I told everyone in the live stream yesterday this. By the way, next Wednesday, over on our Star Wars channel, Hyperspace Hangout, we'll be doing a Book of Boba Fett watch. We'll have to find the time. My guess is it'll probably be roughly the same, probably 4 p.m. Pacific, which is 7 p.m. Eastern. And And even though the show will come out at midnight or whatever, just because. Well, but that'll be different. It'll just be a hangout conversation about it. We won't do a live watch through since it comes out so much earlier. But to do that at midnight would be kind of hard, considering it's because they release it like at our time, midnight.
Right, and it's midnight, so it's 3 p.m. for me.
I think it's 3 a.m. for East Coast time, right?
Or sorry, 3 a.m. Yeah, and then
right.
midnight for
well,
you.
It'll be a weird time because you're in Germany right now.
Yeah. I'm thinking even episode 2. I might go
right here,
3
man.
o'clock in the morning.
Hey, Kerwee says I'm watching it in Germany and never had any issues.
Well, I guarantee your internet is way better.
See, as says that as he clicks out for a second, it'll be all right. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to some of the thoughts here. I just want to get this. Randy says, huge fan of the books. I've never expected every detail to be in the same book. It's just not possible with how much story and lore Robert Jordan gave us. I see this as a new turning of the wheel. Things will not happen the same way as the last turning. Things will play out slightly different. That's kind of a cool way to sort of view it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. I'm going with okay. Trying to see somebody I'm reserving my judgment until the end of season 2. That's how I feel with a lot of shows. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Dragon went through the ways. The wisdom spells are holding back the fade. There we go.
Wow, that's good.
That's good. I mean, Jingle Bell Rock flat out says it's bell time, it's swell time. I mean,
all right. Are these all the same length? An hour, right? Yeah.
Roughly, yeah. I don't know. We don't know. It could be longer. My expectations were super high for episodes 1 through 3, and I ended up disappointed. I'm hoping the opposite happens for the finale.
Yeah.
That's okay, Kerwee. Come right back once you watch it, because we will be here and we will be talking about it.
Yeah, I think it's gotten better. Don't you? Has it's gone along this season?
Yeah, I haven't disliked an episode.
Yeah,
I have to think about which episode's my least favorite. Probably, I don't know. If I had to pick my least favorite, and again, I've genuinely kind of liked them all. I'd probably say episode 5 was my least favorite, but that one was also so crazy. That was the water one where they're doing this at the end, right?
Oh my god! Yeah, hey, yeah. I mean, hey, Matt. By the end, we might all be just,
No, but that's when Perrin does the eyes and everything, and they take out the white cloaks and all this. I mean, I would say there's like moments where there have been a few moments where I'm like, okay,
right.
But I mean, every show's like that. But I'm in.
Right. Yeah.
And I think season 2 will just be bigger and better. I mean, if they've ordered season 3, what's their budget for season 2 going to be like? Probably pretty big if they're already ready to green light season 3.
Well, and they're saying it's the #1 streamed show. So
yes, it is,
which is huge.
It is huge. Now, granted, nothing else was competing against it, but
hey,
that's why you pick those times, right?
Yeah. That was your big worry, which was, hey, is this going to compete with,
Right. Well, so the first few episodes, yes, but we don't know. We'll know a little bit more. I mean, now there's a serious competitor out there, which is The Witcher.
Yeah. Which was great.
Which was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Which we'll be able to see the streaming numbers once it sort of Hawkeye. Yeah, Hawkeye's out there too, and that definitely could. I look at The Witcher more though, just because it's like they're both fantasy, whereas Hawkeye's kind of a different genre. So not necessarily everyone who would be watching that would be watching something else. The Expanse just came out. I know our buddy Ryan, who's a lot of people about that.
Right. Oh, it reminds me, I'll send the link out too.
I think the only thing I disliked about the first season is the world building, but it might be due to COVID and budgeting issues. Yeah, because remember the first 6 episodes were filmed like last, March, April, May. Remember when it was like the world shut down? And, like you couldn't go to grocery stores. I don't know what it was like around the world, but at least here.
That was it was wild. Invite. Okay, boom.
It's fan fiction, but I like it as much as the books. Hey, there's somebody who likes it, even though they kind of dislike it.
Yeah, it's fan fiction. All right.
Yeah, they're all adaptations.
Yeah. By the way, I just thought of something kind of funny as we're on this live. This is great. The cats. Watch for the cats running up behind this on this pole behind me.
I don't trust them.
They're gonna be on the stream. They're gonna jump right over top of me and just like attack.
So what time is it there?
It is 12:50. And so
Woo!
Hey, disclaimer for the group. So we're gonna watch it. Matt and I'll do an initial podcast, and Ryan will pop in. I'll probably pop out because it'll be 3:00 in the morning.
Man up.
Man up. Matt says man up.
This is the season finale,
this is the
bro.
Season finale, baby.
If this were like crazy. Episode 4 or something.
Oh my god. Dude, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? Fudge, what was I gonna say? The cats. It had something to do with the cats.
Take them out.
Son of a gun. Anyway. Yeah, be on the watch out for the chat last time, Matt, was blowing up. The jokes were insane.
We're flying.
They had me dying. What were some of the I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna be laughing my butt off, and
the jokes were flying from like the golden crane from Tarman Gaiden. Okay.
Yeah, crazy.
And those jokes were not flying alone. I can tell you that.
No, they were not. There were too many of them. There were so many. They were good ones too.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And he was shown in the little teaser. I'm actually curious to see what references or anything they make about Matt in this episode.
Yeah, is he back? I mean,
no, I don't think he's in this episode, but my friend marathoned episodes 1 through 7 on Tuesday and texted me what a ripoff because she thought episode 7 was the finale.
Oh my gosh, Nicole, it's hard to
yeah, 7 minutes, man. Here we go. And you know what? He is correct. There is nothing stronger than family. Okay.
What the heck?
Let's go. Whew. Guys, I'm excited. And remember, we doubled in size since the last time we said it. Wednesday, if you guys want to come hang out over on our Star Wars channel, Hyperspace Hangout, we'll be doing the same thing, same time, 4:00 Pacific, 7 Eastern. We'll be hanging out and talking the first episode of Book of Boba Fett. So go check out that Hyperspace Hangout. It's our Star Wars channel. We'll be talking that.
Can't wait. Episode 1's gonna be huge, dude. I'm not gonna be there for episode 1, and you guys better. I mean, that's gonna be off the hook.
It's gonna be myself and Ryan. It's gonna be insane. Yeah. Super, super excited. You like Star Wars, nerd? Yeah, I like all of it, man.
Oh, that's so funny.
I would say Wheel of Time more nerdy than Star Wars at this point in time. It might be.
Yeah.
Star Wars has become a little mainstream.
Kidding me?
Star Wars has become kind of mainstream.
Right.
Ideas for the cold open, and I'm fine with it because I'm fine being a nerd.
Oh yeah, cold open. What is yeah?
A lot of people think Ileana, my love.
Oh man.
Billy Zane, bring him back.
Yeah.
I was not a great fan of the ways and the change to them not being open by the leaf.
Yeah, it's different. Definitely different.
Loose,
I wonder if you still can.
Theron.
Yeah. Do you think you still can use the do you think you still can use the leaf to get through the ways?
I think they could introduce that, talk about that more in season 2 if we go through the ways.
Yeah.
Here, shout out to Franz, man. Franz has been in a lot of our live streams. I hope the cold opener is the creation of Dragon Mount. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
I need the Sean Chan after the episode, not as cold opening. Yeah, there were, I don't know. It was weird. There were like official sort of photos that were released yesterday. There were potential leaked photos and they looked like the Sean Chan, but nothing, they weren't like part of that set and they looked slightly different. So we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna see Padon Fane. 4 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
Dream that Suwan has.
So let me send the link out here. So guys, the link is out for Patreon if anybody wants to pop in later.
Boom. 100 companions versus the Dark One. It's a swell time and it's bell time to rock this holiday.
Yeah.
To rock Winter Night away. That doesn't really work. Winter Night takes place before bell time. My boy's going to steal the throne, the dagger, the horn, and the show. Woo. From no fame, no gain.
Wow. Padon Fane for the win. I like it.
What if you were low pain, low gain?
Wow.
Sean Chan as the ending scene to set up season 2. Yeah, you're going to need to explain just a little bit more, too. It's going to have to be something... Because a lot of people won't know what that is, the show audience. They'll be like, oh, okay, who are these people? You need, you need to sort of have them have some kind of interaction or something.
Right.
The last title of the soundtrack is From the West. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if there's dialogue over it saying, other things too, like there's trouble coming from the West or something. Sean Chan boarding Bail Doman's ship.
Bail Doman would just be cool flat out.
If they show Megan being overpowered as she is a fly on the wall, yes, that could be a way to show the how powerful the Sean Chan is. Yeah, I might agree with this just a little bit here. The show has dropped the ball in the information department. I would in the information department, I would agree with that just a little bit. That I obviously we're watching it and we have knowledge of a lot of this stuff, but I don't know if they have really done a great job in sort of explaining how a lot of things work or why we're seeing them. Like even the Dark One, we've I mean, we know it's going to be like Balsamon, Shamael, however they're going to do it, but it's like they're going to need to kind of, I think this episode we are going to get I think the first 10 minutes is going to be Moraine in the Ways explaining a lot to Rand, like here's who the dragon is, and then we get that sort of flashback. So okay, all right, well, with that, guys, here we go. Let's go over to Amazon, get the timer pulled up.
Let's pause this. Let's get her back.
Everybody start hitting that refresh button.
Okay.
So again, here's what we're going to do. Once it goes live for everybody, what we will do is we'll get ready. And then we will do a 3, 2, 1 shoot. And on shoot is when we all press play.
Yeah, if you guys see OS drop out, it's just because the internet. I'll be back in.
If that does happen, I think the timer will stop.
Will it?
Yeah, because it would be part of your thing.
Well, hey, actually, really, it's just reaction. As long as if I freeze a little bit, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Okay, it is It is 4 o'clock my time, which is 7 o'clock Eastern, which is 1 a.m.
1 o'clock Germany time.
1 a.m. Germany time. So you're actually already in Friday.
Hey, man, it's already Christmas Eve here.
You know,
Let's go.
just refreshing the page, waiting for that episode to drop.
Mm-hmm. Get you a little refresh. Bell time, yeah.
And it's bell time. Yeah. I'm feeling it. All right, here we go. Not up for me just yet. Everybody in the chat, as the episode, I'm sure it's probably.
Give it. Stay on target.
Just keep pressing. Okay, here we go.
Oh my God. The eye of the world.
Okay. So it just clicked for me. So again, everybody watch the ads, or you can skip the ads. Get it to where it's 000. We will watch the intro. We will watch the we'll watch the episode. We'll watch the intro. We'll watch the recap. All that stuff. So here in it's here in about 50 seconds or so. We will press play and get her rolling. And again, we will do a 3, 2, 1 shoot, and on shoot is when we all press play. So
yeah.
Okay. All right. Everybody ready? Are you ready?
Hey, I'm ready. You call it
finale, The Eye of the World. Here we go, everybody. 3, 2, 1, shoot. Do not skip the recap. Nope, skip the ads. But we've already started. So yeah, and we're on pace with the episode timer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the episode is live. It's there.
God, Rand, let's go. Wow.
3,000 years ago. This is it, man. And they are supposed to have sort of futuristic. Different language, man. The old tongue. Is that Eliana?
God, I don't know.
There should be subtitles.
Yeah, I got captions.
I do not. What are they saying?
A lot of stuff.
Jeez, I missed it all.
Your power will be out of control. It will run unchecked.
There we go.
You and your men could throw us back 1,000 years or more. If you help us, we won't fail. Holy.
Mine didn't have subtitles. I had to turn them on. It's weird.
Huh.
Wow. That he's not invincible.
Wow.
Light be with you. Let's go. As the word. Oh, Dragon Reborn. Watcher of the Flame. I thought he was the dragon as.
Dude, the dragon's been born time and time again.
Right.
There was one before him, and there'll be more after Rand. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That was 3,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokes.
Okay, so now I should be able to turn like the player subtitles off. Wow, Loose Theron, man, we just saw him. We're not skipping the intro. We're jamming. I mean, what do you guys think so far? We just saw Loose Theron. What did you guys think about that?
That's pretty freaking awesome.
That's insane. We're not streaming the episode. We can't actually stream the episode. We're just doing a watch party, so we're all watching it at the same time. If we were to stream the episode, our channel would get shut down.
Hey, did I mute myself? Am I good?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, good. All right, here we go.
Yeah, Loose Theron. Into the Blight. Is that the Green Man?
Oh my God.
He is kind of green.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Let's go.
Wow, dude, what if, hear me out on this real quick. What if Perrin didn't love Egwene? What if he loves Rand?
Whoa, bro.
Well, I mean, it changes stuff up.
I hear you.
You're going to rest in the Blight?
The heck is that? Oh my God. Wow.
Wow. I mean, imagine if Lan had to see that. You
Right.
know? Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
What is Lan gonna do?
Her.
Hey.
Ooh, here we go. Explaining that.
What?
Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go.
Wow. God dang, Lan.
Yeah. I will say this. The Lan Nynaeve in the show is so much better than the books.
Yeah.
Because it just moves along a lot faster.
Right.
So much
Yep.
better. And it makes me enjoy Nynaeve.
Mm-hmm.
Green Man.
What the heck?
Whoa!
Oh my. Oh my.
She just got Ned Starked.
Oh my God. What the?
Yeah, it has to be. It's definitely a dream. Here we go with the Luce Theron comparisons. He's a great Forsaken.
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome.
Wow. What in the heck?
Wow.
Wow. Oh my God.
Is she gonna get stabbed again? Is this gonna be a
What the heck?
wow? Ooh.
Wow.
Sangreals,
Wow.
man. We're not messing around in this
Yeah.
episode.
Power objects. Let's go.
The little man too. Ooh.
Hmm. What
I
are they
like that
gonna
we're
do,
finally.
man?
I like that we're finally getting some Rand. By the way, because he
Right.
like haven't really spent that much time with him.
Yeah. Egwene's gonna step up big time.
Yeah. Remember, we're supposed to have a big battle this episode.
Trollocs.
I told you, it's a swell time. It's a bell time
God dang it.
to rock those Trollocs away.
God, I hope so.
Just how dangerous is the blight as
I mean, it kills almost anybody who goes into it. It's death.
how do they know if they're going in the right direction? Here we go.
Hmm.
Let's go.
Wow. Wow.
Oh,
Moraine.
there's another aerial shot. They love these
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, oh, here we go with the Rand girlfriend fight. The horn has been sounded.
Wow. Someone is sounding a horn.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, look at Uno, man, walking in there like, let's go, baby.
He's a boss.
Whoa.
Whoa.
The gap will hold. Okay.
Yep. Has to.
It's never not held.
Yep.
Let's go. This might be the best episode yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're there, man. I think we're at the eye of the world. Ooh.
Wow. No. Maureen's going all the way. I'm telling you right now. I just got chills. Land's tracking him. Oof.
Ooh. She's gonna wear it.
Mm. Wow.
Whoa. Wow.
Wow. What?
Let's go.
Wow.
Love that they're giving them a little time.
Yep.
You know?
Me too.
So I've got our stream up on this monitor over here. So if I keep looking up and over, I'm looking at our stream because I'm watching the episode of my big monitor.
Mm-hmm. This looks cool.
There we go. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Watching an Oculus, that'd be insane. Rand's about to unleash it.
Wow.
Here we go. Well, all those leaks were definitely true. You say that.
Yeah. Joya. Wow. That's out of the books. Whoa.
Huh. Woo.
Oh my gosh.
Dead. Did he just still her?
He shielded her for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I was like, did he just still her? Let's go, man.
For the light.
And Shinar, man. This is pretty sick, man. Some good scale here.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the armor on. There's men.
Men's out of there.
I like that they changed her hair there, too.
Mm-hmm.
More like it, like more of the books. That's good. As I think we're about to see the Horn of Valir, bro.
What the?
I think we're about to see it. Because everyone was saying that it was going to be under his throne. You got to step up, man.
Yeah, they need you.
Let's go, boys. Here we go. Little Helm's Deep-ish. So who are these two women? Remember we saw them in the thing.
Yeah.
I think they're just randos.
Yeah. Wow. This is kind of cool.
All right, Perrin, it's time to call the Wolf Pack. I'm standing. That was the Mulcahy woman. Hey, at Catherine, agreed. We got to step up here. We can't just be, oh, let's leave.
No, he's not okay. Something's up. Perrin better get an axe. Oh my god. Whoa.
Hey, man, the dark one can show you a lot of things.
Rand.
Uh-oh.
God dang it.
Well, he's sure still Egwene there. Ooh. Dark One temptations.
Mm-hmm.
They still haven't explained who he is, other than just saying he's the Dark One.
Right.
Ooh.
Wow. Come on, fellas.
As I think we're about to blow the horn of Valir, baby.
Something's going on.
Yeah, where's Lan at? Yeah, somebody was saying, is that Lanfear with those women? I don't think so.
It's not looking good.
Yeah, this is not good, man.
Matt, where's Helm's Deep when you need it?
Seriously. Well, this is Helm's Deep. We just need. Oh.
Oh my, what? He's not done.
Oof.
Okay. Nicole.
Rand's messing with him. So is this? So is Rand in the dream world, or you think he's in something else?
Don't know.
Spit on Fane. Uh-oh.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Oh boy. Wow.
The horn.
What? Are you kidding me?
Let's go, baby.
What?
Mm-mm.
Are you joking me right now?
Here we go, boys. This is the leak we saw as it's about to
My
get real.
My God.
Matt is not in the show because he left. The actor left. Here we go, baby. Get ready for a nuclear bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Oh, someone said she will burn out.
Yeah. There's still 15 minutes left.
Dang.
Yeah, where's Lan at?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I think she's going to kill herself. I think she's going to burn out.
Oh boy.
There it is.
Oh my bloody God.
Put on Fane's going to get it. Boom, baby.
Wow. Wow. Oh no.
Rand's about to go off. He doesn't know he has a Sangreal.
Yeah.
Let's go, boys.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Cracked it.
Wow.
I think the Forsaken are going to come out. Where's Lan?
It ain't over yet. Pot on Fane, huh?
He's seeing a. I swear to God, if he so much as touches.
What? Matt.
Done. People are like, I'm done. Something's clearly gonna happen.
Oh.
I think Rand's about to like.
She's gonna heal her.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Jesus.
Wow.
It's kind of a bit much,
Okay.
to be honest. I feel like to capture you.
Wow. Wow. Hmm.
So maybe they're just gonna move in Rand into Dragon Reborn territory where he's just off by himself. It's green. It's greenlit through season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So there's land.
You stilled her? What? What, Matt? What is going on?
Hold on a second. Did Padon Fane stab Loyal with his dagger?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna heal her. Like, it's pretty obvious Nynaeve's not dead. You got to get a little shock factor in for TV, okay?
Wow. Yeah, if it was the dagger, Loyal would be dead. What's going on? I mean, Matt, what is happening right now, dude?
Rand's heading towards the waste, I think. The Aiel waste.
Yeah.
Okay. No, hold on first. Obviously, end credits or stuff.
Yeah. Far Western Shore.
Yeah, I think somebody was right, man. They said that Megan is gonna get. I think Megan's gonna get stilled.
Yeah.
So they're skipping 6 books.
Isn't that out in Portland somewhere, West Coast?
Uh,
Oh boy. What in the Okay.
Well, hold on. I don't know if there's gonna be a post-credit scene.
Yeah, I'm looking here.
It doesn't look like it if you sort of zoom ahead.
Right. Wow.
Huh.
Okay.
That's where I'm at. Huh.
Yep. That is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. That's my initial. That's my initial thought.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey,
Well, we
do a little
will.
podcast.
We'll get the podcast rolling here and dive into it. So, are you ready? As you just ready? I think we just need to dive in.
Let's roll with it.
Unfiltered and raw. So again, we're not leaving or doing anything different. We're gonna get our podcast intro here just so we can get that recorded for iTunes, where you guys can listen to all of our episodes and everything like that as well, if you prefer that version as well. So, hello and welcome to Here's the Horn, a Wheel of Time podcast. I am Sir Matt.
And I am Sir Ezra, and friends, we are back with the season finale. And I don't know what to say.
I don't know how I feel about the season finale of this show.
It's interesting.
In all honesty, I kind of didn't like it.
It's different.
Lie.
It's different. It is just different. I don't know how to explain it. It's not necessarily what I thought it was going to be for sure. I thought Rand was going to have that big epic channel moment against the Trollocs, and they kind of shifted that to the female channelers. So it was different. It had its good moments. I liked that we got the Dark One, air quote, showing up and showing him a life that could be. Joya, some references there. Moraine is stilled. Someone stopped the stilling.
Loyal gets stabbed.
Is Loyal dead?
I don't think so.
Did anybody sound the horn of Valir?
No.
Mm-mm.
I will say this: as far as an ending to Eye of the World, this is one where I'm gonna be honest. I'll go ahead and say it, man. The books are better.
Well, yeah,
this is the first. This is really the first time where I'm like, okay,
right.
Yeah, I mean, again, so this will be different because we'll be talking about the episode and we'll be talking about the season as a whole. And the season as a whole,
solid.
I feel very good about, and I feel very good about the show going forward. I will, however, say I felt like this episode sort of highlighted, especially for me, a lot of some of the issues that people have been saying this whole season. Mm-hmm. And I do generally feel like I did not particularly like this episode. I've liked all the other ones. I did not particularly like this one. That's not to say there are not cool moments and there's not cool things we can do going forward. But I just the initial taste in my mouth is not something that I overall liked the whole episode, but there are a lot of moments I thought were cool, and there is building blocks for season 2, season 3. So overall, season 1 for me, I'll say this, is a success for me. I just particularly didn't like moments of this episode.
Yeah, for sure. I think the whole season. Yeah.
Not to interrupt you really quick. A great comment here by Deborah. This needs a second watch. I will definitely need to watch this episode again. Yes.
I agree because I was like, again, there's a lot to track. And if you're a non book reader too, I think a lot of this too was throwing in tidbits here for book readers. Book readers want to say, hey, we want all these different things, all these different nods. We want all these references. But sometimes when you do all of those things, it can be a bit much. And they did kind of save a lot of it for this episode. So
I feel like the episode went over. I feel like the episode went over. I feel like it went over my head.
And it might go over the heads of non-book readers.
It's definitely gonna. It's definitely going to go over the head
Maybe.
of. Definitely going to go head of the book. Now, some people are saying here, look, they did not bypass the Great Hunt or the Dragon Reborn or any of these other things. As we talked about,
Yeah.
it's an adaptation. You have to move stuff around. In no way, shape, or form did they bypass. And we've been saying, and actually, even more so right now, my theory that I've been saying for the past like 3 weeks, that they're
Yeah.
blending the Dragon Reborn and the Great
Yes,
Hunt
sir.
into one season is even more confirmed. For me,
Right.
they just 100% confirmed that the next season is books 2 and 3, because all of
Yeah.
book 3 is Rand by himself wandering, away from everyone, and book 2 is the hunt for the horn, and like 10 chapters into the Great Hunt, how does it start? Padan Fain steals the horn. Well, he just stole it.
Right. He
So
did.
to me, it's we're hunting Padan Fain, we're hunting the horn. Rand's off by himself. We've already introduced Sangreal, which is a big point of this episode. So for me,
Mhm.
next season is the Great Hunt Dragon Reborn combo. They're gonna parallel blend them.
Yeah. The one thing I thought they did that was good, like Padan
Yeah.
Fain. So
The horn of
Padan Fain in this episode was good. He showing up with the dark, with the Murdral and the fades, and Padan Fain being associated with the dark one. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool, and that's a bit. But it just, we've been waiting all season for that, and it kind of hits. It's surround. I thought we were going to sound the horn of Valir for a second.
Right.
I thought
The horn, by the way, the horn is found at the
Yeah.
end of Eye of the World.
Yeah, it is.
And in the first book, they find the horn of Valir. So it's not we are lined up with the Great Hunt. I'm just seeing some comments in here. People saying that they've already
Right.
found the horn. That is the whole Great Hunt, is that we're not searching for the horn, we're searching for Padan Fain. We know where the horn is.
Right.
He
Yeah.
has it.
Right. And so it is interesting. It's a different take, right? That Valdara has always had it, and they have kept it secret and safe. Literally, Gandalf told him 2 years ago. So they have the horn. It's in Valdara, and yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, again, so it's gonna go right with the book, where they're really searching for Padan Fain, who has the horn, which is season 2. Padan Fain did have the dagger.
Yes.
He did have the dagger.
And so people are upset because, I mean, if he stabs somebody with that dagger, we saw what it did to the girl in the White Tower. I mean, it pretty much blackens you're a goner. I mean, unless there's someone there to heal you.
No, we didn't. I don't think we saw Matt didn't stab somebody with the White Tower and the dagger.
No, Padan Fain does. Padan Fain does.
In the show?
No, in the books.
I know, but in the show they haven't shown that it.
No, they haven't shown that. No, we don't know its
right.
power.
So it could be
anything.
It could be changed.
I mean, the other thing is Loyal doesn't. Yeah, I mean, Loyal is stabbed. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, at this point, I'm there are a lot of differences. Loyal is laying there,
right,
possibly dead. Moraine has been stilled. Nynaeve almost died. Matt is in Tar Valon, I guess. I think.
Yeah. See right here. Here's a great comment. Can someone explain the post-credits scene? Exactly. Because I feel like it's one line in episode 6 where and then you just see this group coming. I feel like it should have actually been a post-credits scene.
Yeah, and I don't know if people, do like, are they good or are they bad? They're channeling. They look interesting. Right. It's just an intrigue factor. That's all it is. It's just something to kind of, be intriguing. I don't know. There were moments for this episode, like we were like, all right,
let's talk about the good ones. Let's talk about
because Valdara being held, Tarwin's Gap being held was awesome. I even thought it is interesting that the women channel and they link up and the whole thing, goes kind of crazy and they're burning out, but they won the battle essentially there, sort of. So,
yeah,
I mean,
so stuff I liked. So we got more Nan. I always want to say Nan.
Yeah,
I guess we could call him that. What is it, Nynaeve, or is it Nan? Right. We got more Nynaeve, which was good. I thought the way they still sort of kept their relationship rolling. Was good. We saw Luce Theron, which was cool.
That was cool.
I actually thought the Moraine and Rand conversations in the Blight leading up to it was cool. I actually think even Rand with, we know it's Balzamon, but they call him the Dark One. I generally thought that was all cool and all happening well. The shock factor, they went for almost too much shock factor in this episode. Like they had like 5 or 6 really shocking moments. And I think that along with the pacing of this episode, it causes just to be like a bit too much. And then they sort of are trying to like stuff book references in that are going over everyone's heads. Like the moment where Rand falls asleep and he sees Moraine die.
Right.
Like that should have been like your sort of one early episode shock factor. And then, then they did it a bit too much. After that.
Yeah. So, like you said, just balancing all of it. I almost lost track that was Loyal getting stabbed for a second. There was so many, kind of like blow you away moments that I see him laying on the floor getting stabbed. I'm like, what the heck? So anyway, yeah, and also I did like this. We're talking about moments that we enjoyed from this episode. Moraine going all the way to the eye of the world and saying, "Yes, I'm going all the way to die." That she knew that from the get-go. That was her plan. Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that when they showed Luce Theron and they showed the world he lives in and how it's, advanced. I thought that
was cool. Yes.
I thought that was cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, man, it's just a lot. There's so much to unpack from this episode because it feels like it was all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, so there are big reveals, right? There are reveals I think it's to help some of the there's a lot of explaining that needed to happen because it's a really confusing point. Like, who is the dragon? What does it mean that he is reborn? And then so you saw the Luce Theron guy in the beginning. We're connecting to this individual. That's the only historical context. I mean, we got a little bit about the dragon all along fighting to save the world, but then we got to actually see him. So, that should make sense to folks. And then Rand is that person reborn, and he's called Luce Theron. So it just happens so quickly that you hope that non-show readers are able to kind of pick up on some of that stuff. I'm like, okay, he's calling him by a different name. Oh, that was that guy's name 3,000 years ago. That's right. He just saw him in a vision. So, that was cool. And then the dream sequence stuff was also really interesting just to learn about like what is happening. What is he tempting Rand with? What was the Dark One tempting him with? Yeah.
Right. And he showed him that other life that we could see.
Yeah.
I do think Balzamon, Shamael, as they're calling, the Dark One, that actor I thought did a great job. I think he's going to be very interesting going forward. And so I do think that was pretty cool. I actually liked the scene of Rand being tempted. I thought that was done well. And then Rand sort of using the Sangreal to sort of blow him back. I actually kind of liked the look of the Eye of the World. I thought the way they did it was definitely kind of cool. We saw Min leaving with a changed hairstyle.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. She foresaw all of these people's things. I will say another thing, the shock factor of like Nynaeve dying and then healing Egwene. I think you could have done that in a different way to show Egwene. She could have just been. It was like, I don't know. It was just a lot because it was like her eyes were burned out just like everyone else's, and they really wanted to make you seem like she was dead. And because they already did that in episode 4, when like you think Moraine and everyone's dead, and then Nynaeve heals them, it felt to me a little weak because I felt like we already saw that earlier this season. And if that's a thing going forward, like book or show comparisons aside, if you're just going to keep doing all these like big shock factor deaths and then immediately fixing it, it begins to lose its impact over time.
Yeah. And again, just so to remind folks who are just now coming into our live stream, we do love the season and we've enjoyed it. And
Oh, I
I
generally like season one. I think I'm
yeah,
just kind of out on this episode.
right. And I'll say this, really not for me. I'm not out on this episode. I think I'm still just processing everything that happened because I was the whole way along, I was saying like, let's go. Like this is awesome. There was a great build up. The energy was there. All of that was hitting. I just thought Rand was going to do more and it was going to be more of I don't know, it was going to hit a little harder. And really what hit was the women out there channeling and throwing their power around and burning out and kind of, all of that. Potta and Fane coming in was also sort of like, I think I knew he was coming, but
Right.
I'm still processing everything he did. He did what Perrin did or didn't do.
Yeah. Yeah. This was a pretty jam-packed episode, to say the least. It's going to require a second watch, as well as now I can binge the whole season and I can sort of see it in that context of being able to see the whole thing as one season. I mean, definitely I'll say that season 2 is set up. There's a lot of threads, pun intended, right, that you can go on. Season 2 won't be as impacted by COVID. The budget is probably larger, and I think now you can sort of begin the way, and we obviously don't have the Barney Harris Matt issue, because who knows how much these last 2 episodes were supposed to be different.
Right. Yeah. They could have been
and
a
then
lot
you're thrown a main character leaving.
Right.
And you have to fix this stuff with unlimited budget, not unlimited budget, but on unlimited sort of, you have to come back and do 2 episodes. You can't go back because they did the 6 and then had to come back and film the last 2. You can't sort of, go back, but we need to rewrite some stuff because he's not there. So,
yeah.
So again, I can give it a little, I can sort of grade this episode on a scale, on a curve a little bit, but
right.
still, that's still where I'm at. But again, I'm excited for season 2, and I think that I give most shows like a complete pass on season 1 on just about any show I've ever seen.
Yeah, sure.
And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Go watch The Office season 1. Go watch The Office season 2. Night and day different. And The Office is one of the greatest shows in television. Even go watch Game of Thrones season 1. There's a lot of stuff in season 1 where it's like costuming and stuff looks kind of weird, and it gets much better in season 2. We just watched The Witcher season 2. Compared to season 1, The Witcher 2 makes, and I loved Witcher season 1, but Witcher season 2 makes Witcher season 1. It's so much better that to me it makes Witcher season 1 look like trash, and I loved season 1, and I think it's like great, but it's just so much better. So I think the same thing will happen here, where I think season 2 is going to be great. And for me, I feel like I loved the majority of season 1, so I still feel solid about the whole season.
Yeah, I do too, and I think you're right. There's a lot of big questions coming out of this. Like we're gonna be making videos, and people are gonna be talking about it for a long time. Like, what really happened to Moiraine? Is she still just shielded? Was she shielded, and then the Dark One was himself cut off from the power, and is that left over? Is that gone, or was she stilled? Is Loyal alive, dead?
Where was Lan?
What took Lan so long? No, I'm just what is the little secret that Nynaeve knows? Her Moraine's tell, the tracking tell. Did she ever explain that? I don't know if she actually. It kind of cuts away, and then he just picks up on it, and we kind of go from there. I thought you'd think this would be funny though, Matt. So, remember when Rand tries in the books to heal the girl at Tyr
with Kalendor?
Right. This comment that's up on the screen. Yeah, Egwene's new power is that she can heal the dead. All right, Rand couldn't do that with Kalendor, but now Egwene can.
Yeah,
kind of funny. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm still thrilled. I think I'm just processing all of it because it is so.
So different. I guess what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, sort of, on season 1 as a whole? I would say.
Yeah. As a whole, I think it's fantastic.
Now that we're through one season.
Let's go back to a point, and there'll be a thread here all the way back to episode 1. But what I saw in this episode with like Nynaeve and Lan, that relationship just keeps growing on me. That was even more. I thought,
Yes.
okay, we're not going to get more of that because it's the final episode. No, they continued on and developed those characters and their relationships, and it was everything it should be. So that was great. And that if you watch that from episode 1 all the way through, it really lands, and they really do a good job. What was a bit abrupt was, again, it was the way they handled Rand is that there was less like he's there in the beginning. We understand he is connected with everyone else. They're pretty well balanced, I guess. And then as we go along, he sort of takes a back seat a little bit. There's subtle little references. I thought the last episode when he's landing those arrows and he's doing his thing, he's the Dragon Reborn. I thought that was fantastic. So that was a high moment. The misleading us with who is the dragon, I thought that was fine for people who are
Right.
not,
That was fun. That was fun
yeah.
for a TV change. Yes.
Right, right. So I think I wish maybe that there was more kind of this Age of Legends loose there and trickled back a little bit, just more kind of understanding. But then again, maybe they confine it all to make it make sense. Like it might have been little drops that maybe were not I don't know, felt disconnected or something, because they did kind of confine a lot of that loose there and explanation to this episode. And it makes sense. It's proximity. Just tie it right into the Eye of the World, and we're going to see these guys who were there fighting him back in the day. That all kind of makes sense. So there are some things that I feel like, speaking of these threads, that tie the whole series together, that did work, that do land. I wanted more Loyal overall. Big Loyal fan here. Okay. Am concerned about him a little bit. And I thought Moraine.
There's Loyal's going to be there.
Matt, I'm concerned because he's been stabbed. Okay.
I know.
So he's on the floor. I don't like seeing my boy on the floor. It's like when Land's throat was slit. I don't ever want to see that again. Was it an epic, awesome moment? And do I enjoy it in the TV series? Yes, I do. But I'm trying to think of like things that they showed us in this episode, just to bounce back to this episode real quick. Things that happened in this episode that were not there in the books, that were expanding the story, like Fall Dara. In the books, we follow Rand and in company back to the Eye of the World. We don't really see the inner workings of Uno, the other lords, and how they defended Tarwin's Gap. And we get a little bit when Rand, travels there. So that was kind of cool to see the different lords and to see them working together, and to see Lady Amelise and everything that happened there. So
Loyal's dead. He's dead.
No, he's dead, not. Matt. Accept it.
Hey. Hey, what is dead may never die. Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Wrong show. Yeah. Is Moraine stilled, by the way? That's people are definitely talking about that. Some of the things seem a bit rushed or honestly poorly written. Not a big fan of the linking of the girls just for the false drama. I don't know. I thought that was the lightning was kind of cool. And Moraine stilled what? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Where do we go from here in season 2? Right. Season 2 to me is season 2 is gonna be a lot different because you have, for starters, you have a casting of a character who's not gonna leave, presumably in Matt. So that changes things. And then we have Rand off by himself, which to me is a lot of the stuff that's going to be Dragon Reborn content. Padan Fain has the horn. I think the girls are going to go back and begin their Aes Sedai training. And I think, and I've said this, I think that's where you start to begin to do a little bit of the lore dumping, if you will.
Yeah.
When the girls go back to the tower, you can really begin, I think, to sort of explain to them who the Forsaken are, why they're important, more on Sa Angreal, which I think actually they sort of did in a cool way. Like in this episode, here's this thing. It's going to be important. They all used to channel into it, and it's powerful. Yeah. So that was one thing I think that was done well, as we'll progress forward, right, throughout the whole thing. So I do think that was good. We did not find anything at the Eye of the World. Well, no, that's not true. Moraine did find something at the Eye of the World.
What?
The
Quindiar. The Heartstone. Yeah.
Right.
The seals that kind of keep the Dark One locked away. Nothing should be able to kind of crack those and break those. So I know that was a big question. Is the Dark One out? And that's what Moraine kind of says in this episode, right? Is that this is not Tarmangaiden. This is not the last battle. This was the first battle, the
Yeah,
first of many.
and I'm going to agree here because it's kind of weird because some people were saying that they had not like the captions that you put on through Amazon.
Right.
Because do you have captions set to be on or no?
I think I did. I don't know. I
Okay.
think mine just came on.
Yeah, see,
'Cause
I didn't have mine and we were watching it and I was like, I don't even know what they're saying. You guys are like, they're saying all this stuff and a few people were in the chat. So I don't know what happened there, but I was in the same boat. I had to go physically turn on captions
yeah.
and then turn them off. But I feel like yes, there should have been.
Well,
So I
and
don't.
unfortunately, some of us were on a timer watching it together, so during the watch party, so we couldn't really
So we
pause
weren't
it and
like
do
pause.
anything, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, some people said there definitely were. See, there definitely weren't
Yeah.
for me. And I think I know apparently some other people as well. So that was weird. I don't know why I did have that and some people didn't. I don't know. Maybe it's because you're watching, I don't know, you're watching Germany as maybe, I don't know.
Hey, maybe, yeah, honestly, who knows? Because mine kicked on right away, and I was shocked when I heard you say that, well, I can't see
Yeah,
anything. I'm
here's
like,
somebody.
what?
I got captions in the cold open without selecting it. See, I didn't. And
Yeah.
that was weird. So I don't know. That seems like
See, on a rewatch, Matt, that'll be because that was great. The dialogue back and forth there was splendid. I love.
yeah, see, I agree. Yeah, here we go. Never bluffs. And some people are saying they had them. Some people were saying they didn't. So don't know. That don't know on that one. I blame Jeff on that one.
Wow.
Get Jeff Bezos on the phone right
on the
now.
phone. Somebody get him on the horn of Valir.
He's all about customer service. Okay.
Right.
That's what you go watch those old Amazon videos. He said the customer always comes first. Well, Jeff, we got a problem.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Where were the captions? Yeah, okay. So, man, I'm just trying to still. What'd you think? Let's go through some characters. How about this? Can we do this? Like talk about specific characters. Let's start with
throughout
one
the season or just the whole.
Well, let's just go with this episode first, and then we can talk season here in a second. Because this episode's interesting. What did you think of Perrin during this episode? And we'll just be honest about our thoughts on these.
You know, in all honesty, and I guess I'm going to have to tie this to a little bit of the season because I think it all comes to a head here, is the balancing act that they've done this season. I do think for the most part has been pretty good. The obviously unfortunate thing, Matt leaving, Barney Harris, the actor, left, obviously, after episode 6. So it's kind of hard to tell because there was stuff in the last episode and there was stuff in this episode that I think that should have been done by Matt. And I think some of that stuff got blended. I almost think the seeing of Padan Fane was supposed to be Matt, not Perrin.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I don't know. It just felt
Matt and his connection to the horn. Yeah.
Right. And the dagger. And right. Exactly. So this episode, I kind of felt like Perrin was like an afterthought. Like we need somebody to sort of go question Padan Fane. Like,
yeah,
I did think that his idea with Loyal about what am I, the way of the leaf and try like that was good.
Right.
This episode, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, what did you think of Perrin? I felt like there again, he kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point. I mean, Matt was tied to the horn and to Padan Fane, and he's not in the episode and available. So whatever his arc would have been, and I'm even trying to think like what would he have done even if Matt would have been there? It's like fight or I don't know, because he doesn't go to the Eye of the World. He doesn't go out with the female channelers. So he and Loyal or someone would need to do something. He probably just would be there with Matt. Maybe they both face down Padan Fane, which would be interesting. But yeah, he felt like he didn't know what to do really. It just felt a little off to me. Not Perrin.
Right.
If you will. I don't know. It felt different. That's why I started with him. And let me bounce to a second one, if I can, real quick. Egwene. Egwene has just kind of felt like,
Afterthought
yeah,
this
like
whole
a little
season.
bit. I thought
Like the
she was
whole
gonna be the one leading this chart, like she
right.
was gonna have her explosive moment here, you know?
Right. Now obviously the actress plays a lot of Egwene in this episode,
Yeah,
but it's that vision that Rand has Egwene. And I thought her
right.
acting there was obviously great. I mean, I think the
Oh,
majority of these people's acting has been great, really, the
awesome.
whole season. I mean, Barney Harris, unfortunately, might have been the best actor of the whole season, to be
I know.
honest. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody really loved him. So got a super chat here. So Loyal was stabbed, so they can use Loyal to track the dagger, and Matt Barney leaving had ripples. Definitely from Rant Almore. Um,
Wow. Hey, I like okay, that's
definitely,
interesting.
definitely had ripples.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, here we go. Actually, I was going to bring him because I think we should talk about him. So Earl here, Rand was on the side burner during most of the first season, but even in the book series, different characters held the spotlight. So I see the episode characters focus not only not only good series TV. This actually was the first episode where I felt like we actually got a good bit of Rand.
Right. Yeah, yeah, where he really I mean, we heard him talk a lot more. That's what was a bit jarring was to hear him talking to Moraine and really having these back and forth moments, a lot of acting, a lot of on-screen time, and he did a great job. Like you said, the acting I thought was really good for him as well. But and we have to. I mean, we push him forward in the
Right.
last episode as that guy who's the dragon, and now he's got to step up, and we need him for context, and we have to compare him to Lews Therin. So, and it is good. There's so many characters. The problem with the Wheel of Time is that you have so many characters. You just brought it up too. Like if Matt's there, guy that eats up more, he has to be paired with someone, and it's got to be Perrin for the
Right.
time being.
And then yeah, Tom later.
Yeah.
I think that in season 2, one of the things I would do is I would go the Game of Thrones route where, and I mean, again, it's sort of some of the way those books are written. Like in Game of Thrones, you would go like, especially like once you get into like seasons 2 and 3, like you can go back and watch the episode. You don't cover every character in every episode. Like there are
Hmm.
some times where you skip. So it'd be like in episode 1, and I'm just using a blanket example here. This isn't necessarily the case. Like you would not see Daenerys Targaryen in like every episode. You would not always show a
Right.
little bit of her story. It feels like and what they would do is they would say, okay, here's the stories. Here's sort of the characters we're focusing on in episode 1, and then like in episode 2 you would focus on like a different region, whatever, and you
Sure.
would still bounce back and forth. I feel like they should do that in season 2, especially because the girls are going to be the tower training, so you can kind of make that a focus and maybe not show Rand and Perrin and whatever, and then episode 2 maybe you don't even show the girls at all and you show um some of these other things. So that way it gives it a little more time to breathe, because some of the times where we would get like, I think it was probably episode 4 where we're getting Perrin with like the Tinkers and the Way of the Leaf, it's like feels like 5 minutes of the whole episode. And
Right.
so um sometimes it just feels like it gets lost.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it was just one of those things where it's hard
I didn't
it's hard to balance. Yeah.
I didn't get the captions because I'm a dark friend. Some other people did too. So
Wow. Um, yeah, going forward, you're totally right. We'll do more of that bouncing around to different regions because they're going to split up, right? I mean, Rand's going to go do his thing now. We've got some people are in Tarvalin. We'll have Shanchen scenes now. We're going to head to Falma, blow the horn, all that good stuff. But oh, Stephanie's in here. Here we go. Hey
that was a
guys.
ride, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It definitely was. And it's something that we've been talking about a little bit here, just in terms of I was real juiced up for the first half of that episode, and then I got overwhelmed. I was sort of like,
Yeah,
"What is
it's a lot.
happening here?"
It's a
Because
lot.
it's like daggers to the chest, man. It's like, okay, Rand is winning, but a lot of bad things are happening, right? Like he's beating the Dark One, but no, Podon Fane is revealing to us that like we wanted him here, we needed him here. Someone had a really interesting comment, like, "What is a Taviran?" And has the show explained that for non-book readers yet? I mean, just that they're special characters. I don't know that there has been some line or some talking about it in the show a little bit, but not extensively. And even in Eye of the World, there's not really a lot of extensive talk about it. But Podon Thane uses it here, so that's interesting. So that's a big question coming out of season one. I'm sure non-book readers are going to be saying, "What does it mean to be Taviran? Why are they so special? Why does the Dark One need them per se?" And yeah, because that was the whole thing. Like, you know what I mean, Matt? Like stuff was good. Rand was supposedly beating the Dark One, but like Nynaeve is dying. The battle is won, but at great cost. The horn is stolen. Uno and all those guys that we like are being stabbed. Loyal's being stabbed. Matt's turning to the dark. Moraine is stilled. Like, it's supposed to be a good moment. And I can think what's so
Right.
jarring for you and I is after the Eye of the World, when you read that book, how epically awesome do we feel? Like, we're sad
Right.
because of the Green Man dying. And there's I mean, I don't know. Like, I felt like we had more really epic feels, and the prophecy is quoted at the end about the dragon riding again on the winds of time, and all
Right.
these epic things are happening, and you didn't really feel like we weren't left on that happy feel. And again, I get that it's a cliffhanger to take us into the next season, but that's why it was so jarring, I think, for me. I'm trying to figure out, but I think it's the feeling because we should have won something. And really, Rafe showed us in this is the first of many battles, and this is not over.
No, definitely not. And again, yeah. Hold on, there's so much in the chat. Everyone's really going back and forth. A lot of people really like it. A lot of people didn't. Some people were in the middle. So I think that's where a lot of people are on this whole deal. Is everyone is really kind of all over the place. And I guess I'll ask you guys in the chat, thoughts on the season as a whole. Maybe not even necessarily just this episode, because that is sort of the bigger question now. Is, what did you sort of think of the season as a whole, and then where do we sort of go from here? Rand leaves, and he was sort of staring at the spine of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So is he going to possibly meet the Aiel earlier than
Yeah.
expected, and maybe by himself? So does he not meet Elaine next season? Do the girls meet Elaine? And maybe Rand and Elaine? Somebody said it in in the live stream I did yesterday. Somebody said in the live stream yesterday something about like maybe Rand actually doesn't really meet Elaine until season 3. Like, maybe again we blend the next two books. It all takes place at Tyr, and then the girls are there when
Yeah.
the Horn of Valyr sounded and all that stuff, which would be in season 2, potentially sounded in Tyr, and then Rand meets Elaine then when the girls are all there.
Yeah, so something to further your idea, Matt, you've been talking about this idea of everything being in tier. If Rand does go to the spine of the world and goes into the Aiel waste, he, instead of, on the Dragon Reborn, he just kind of meanders through following the prophecies. He could go to the Wise Ones, and he could actually be a part of those Aiel that storm or that climb up the Stone of Tyr. Remember, the Aiel
Right.
break in there, and they're searching for He Who Comes with the Dawn. So he could be a part of that unit and just go fulfill one of the prophecies with them. I know it would be definitely different from the books, but guys, we are way beyond. This is just an adaptation at this point. We're just trying to pull pieces and make a cool show, make it keep the spirit of
Well,
of,
it's
Wheel of
still
Time.
it's still an adaptation. I mean,
That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said.
yeah.
Is that it's an adaptation. And that's what I'm saying. We're well beyond um worrying about like, oh, is that that's not what happens in the books. Yeah, no kidding. The whole first season is literally not what happens in the books necessarily. It's the spirit of the books, and that's all you need to keep in mind. So to me, I feel like he could go to the Aiel, and his whole venturing track could be
Right.
there, and he does end up, like you said, in Tyr because that's where they believe they need to go and to get Kalendor. So I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people, a lot of people with differing, and
Um,
I like to show them all, because I like to give everyone credit and what they, what they said, because I think it's good, because everybody comes at this in a different sort of, that everybody comes at it with a different thing. And I think everyone's doing a great job in the chat, by the way, of being respectful, because I'm always fine with everybody having differing opinions.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm always fine with people being, some people really love something, some people don't.
Hey, people are still watching it. You love the books, and you're still here trying to see what cool piece can I pick up from the series. What do I like? Let me pitch. Can I pitch a theory real quick?
Yeah.
So Moraine has been stilled, as far as we know. I see a lot of comments in the chat about, is she stilled? Is she not? It appears she's been stilled. Someone said it's possible that she was shielded and it was tied off, and that perhaps it is now tied off and she does not know how to untie it, and she can't, because he said the source was right there at your fingertips and it's gone. Did he still her? Is she shielded and tied off? That's up for debate. We can have that debate and have some comments. We'll make this a YouTube video, and you guys can talk about that in the comments. But here's what I'm thinking they're doing for her story. You know, she will, because of great need. In the Stone of Tears, she goes through the twisted doorway, the twisted stone Tirangrial, to go meet with. She goes to the realm of the snakes and the foxes, and she has her 3 wishes or whatever requests. I think that might be a part of it. She might use something like that. You don't need the power to use that. Matt goes through there and he gets the fox head medallion and stuff. She may go there and try to find some way in which she can reobtain the power, possibly. Like they could be setting up some arc where Moraine out, because right now they don't know how to undo stilling. Stilling is not something that can be. Once you're stilled, it's done. You're done. So I don't know. Just kind of a thought. Maybe she will go and try to figure out a way to get her power back, and she goes to the realm of the snakes and the foxes. What do you guys think in the comments? Crazy? Ludicrous? Probably. As it's just spitballing here.
Yeah. Yeah, just pulling up some of the man in the chat over here. Yeah, we're just like thinking about where we're gonna go, because so my guess is Moraine and Lan obviously go back to Faldara.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, Moraine can't go back to the tower until she's called back.
Right. Exactly. She can't. So that's why I'm saying she would go to maybe so if Rand's going to go to Tyr, like you're suggesting, and maybe this is not a Faldara thing, even though we saw the Shanshin coming in from the west. So we're full predictions. Here we go. Maybe she does end up she feels like if the dragon's going to fulfill more of the prophecies, I'll meet Rand in Tyr. And while I'm there, I know she's stilled. So Tyrants don't like Aes Sedai, and they don't like them being in their city, and they don't like people who can deal in the one power. That's why they have all those stored Angreal in their possession, and even Tyr Angreal, because they don't want the female channelers to have more of them. There are lords there, men in power, and they're just kind of opposed to it. So she could now slip in there as just a commoner, go in, maybe try to Land gets her into some of those areas, and she tries to figure out a way to channel again or to get her power back, and Rand is there as well or something. I don't know if we're going to go down the whole route of Nynaeve will learn it and then seek out. I just don't know they're going to push that arc forward fast enough to where it's Nynaeve that's going to be doing the healing of like Suan and Logain and Moraine. But that's what we're talking about here. Now they've stilled Moraine this quickly. You have to bring those types of conversations up and say, hey, when are we going to? How does she reacquire her power? Because she has to.
Right. Yeah. If it ended on a victory, feel what non-book reader is going to come back for. Moraine is shielded. Think of Logain's severing.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So, again, that's the feeling here is.
Well, that's actually. I have an idea on that, but go ahead.
No, just the feeling is like I was saying before. It's why we're wrestling with this, is because it is such a. Moraine is hurt and injured at the end of the Eye of the World, but great things happen, and it feels more epic and like everything's okay. Right now, nothing feels like okay. Moraine doesn't feel. She's our leader, she's our Gandalf, and I'm like, what the heck? It just feels.
What if Moraine will be taking on some of Suwan's arc?
Yeah.
It's Moraine and Logain.
Yeah, it totally could be, and it could even be that. Again, if they go with Nynaeve and maybe she learns more things along the way, it could be that Nynaeve heals both of them at some point. That could just happen earlier. It doesn't happen. It doesn't have to happen like the Rebel Aes Sedai camp. So, but yeah, she definitely could be, because she was kind of sympathetic to Logain, and understanding that the Reds were out there gentling men without a trial, and Leandrin kind of gamed the system a little bit, set this up to gentle Logain, or to to gentle Logain, and so she might find common, ground with him.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. By the way, I'm pretty sure if you are stilled, you are no longer held to oaths.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. So that makes it interesting. Oh my gosh! And hey, great point, because at the end, Rand said, "Tell them I died," and she said, "I can tell no lies." Right. So that means either one of two things: either she is just shielded, and the power is still, the oaths are still there if she's shielded, and it's tied off, which I don't think it is. I think they're implying that she's been stilled. So if that's the case, she can lie, Matt. She can tell that lie and say that the dragon died there. But she then goes on to say that that's not who Moraine is. The cause must go on. He needs his time to do his thing. She will pick the quest back up and say, how do I find him? Where do I meet him again? But she's got to deal with her own issue right now, which is that she's freaking stilled.
Yeah.
So,
so what do we think next? So next season, the Sean Chan are going to be an issue. That's pretty apparent. White Cloaks.
Yep. Well, so Logain hinted at it. There's a growing tension out away from the White Tower. He said to the Amaryllis Seat, the further you are from this tower, the weaker you are. Your power dwindles, right? And I think the White Cloak's presence is going to be growing. What happens in the Eye of the World is that when they go into Caemlyn, that exact same thing happens. Like, the White Cloak presence is there. Morghese is wrestling with, like, what's going on with her daughter at the tower. Is the tower as powerful as they once were? All of those things. So yeah, you're right. The Sean Chan will be a force, the White Cloaks, and then the White Tower will be kind of dwindling. Yeah.
Yeah. Alan's saying here also, non-epic fight is to prevent Goku problem. So that's obviously that's a Dragon Ball reference. Yeah, I mean, so one of the things in Dragon Ball is that Goku's always the guy for just about like 9 out of 10. I would say 99 out of 100 fights. Pretty much outside of the Cell saga. Goku, just powers up more and more and more and more and more, and always wins every sort of fight. So thank you, Alan, again. Hey, for another one here. Let's see here. Some other people. Yeah. So with the White Cloaks, see, man, I almost feel like you could just go right into Perrin's Shadow Rising. And I talked about this, is that Perrin's Shadow Rising ends with the White Cloak sort of battle. He tells him off basically there at the end of the Shadow Rising. And we know we could meet Fael, who is a hunter of the horn, because the hunt is going on for the horn. Even when we have it, that's the whole deal. Is there's still, we meet hunters of the horn throughout the whole series, even though we've already got it. And so there's always people hunting for it, because they don't know that we've got it once we get it back from Padan Fain. So could mean it. And next season you could introduce the hunt for the horn as like an event, like it's a yearly sort of event.
Yeah, for sure. And then, like you said, I mean, this whole, buddy, I think you're nailing it with these predictions, because Rand now, you had said,
thank you, Earl, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, Earl. Just possibly his arc leading him to Tyr, and shift the stuff from Falma around a little bit, whatever. And then you've got Perrin. Maybe he doesn't know what to do and he does go back home, or there's some great need that takes him back there. And it's the White Cloak arc where he will get into this way of, forsaking the way of the leaf, and he and Aram will pick up the sword together, or the axe, and start to kind of fight back. Because right now he seems to be almost into the way of the leaf and this pacifist kind of idea. And he didn't want to pick up that weapon until right at the very end. He wasn't going to. And it's like people are laying there dead, and Perrin was just still wrestling with all of this. So I like the fact that he could go back to the Two Rivers or anywhere and just sort of take more issue with the White Cloaks. Now, speaking of the White Cloaks, remember who stabbed a White Cloak, right? Egwene, who will be a novice or one of the accepted, and they're probably going to pop her right up to accepted because of all the stuff that happened in this battle here at Valdara. She's proven herself to be epic, and she and Nynaeve are both awesome. So that might be the thing. But I think the White Cloaks might show up at the White Tower and say, hey, we have an issue. One of yours has actually killed one of ours. I don't know how far that's going to go, that's going to, just kind of increase some of that tension, but I imagine it might.
So. Yeah. Some great comments here. Matt is gone. It's only Loyal now. The cast has been replaced. All hail Loyal the Gambler.
Oh my, could you imagine?
And Matt is going to be interesting. So we do see Matt head back to the tower, whether it was reused footage or whatever.
Right.
And so it's going to be Donald Noy. It's not Donald. Is that his name? Donald Finn. Donald Noy is the reader. Donald Noy is the
who's that?
He's the armorer in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Not Donald Noy. I wish Donald Noy is freaking sick. No,
oh
Donald Finn, I believe, is his name, right?
Yeah.
Who's in season 1 of The Witcher for like one episode. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with him, right? And we don't know the timing of that either. We don't know if that was we don't know when that scene takes place.
Which one?
Because he wasn't that far off from Tar Valon, it seems like, where we see Matt staring back at the tower.
Yeah, that wasn't new? Why? That was just something they reused.
I think it was reused footage, and they made it darker.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That we'll pick up with Matt there, and we'll have to see what that actor can do with that whole arc, because he needs still some more healing, or there's some leftover taint Donald or something. Finn. Yeah. So,
if you want to make predictions, you need to read the Norse Eddas. It's the OG source material Jordan wrote the core around. I am entirely.
Oh, that's cool. That. Alan, thanks. That's actually pretty cool. So the idea there is that, like, if we're looking for just inspiration or like the heart at, what he was trying to pull from, that might be something Rafe and those guys are looking at. What was interesting to me is that Rafe and, or I think it was Brandon Sanderson, I could be wrong, tell me in the comments if I am, said these last 2 episodes were like his favorite. So I think that's fascinating that this last episode was up there as one of his favorites. Some people were marking it down 10 out of 10. For me, it was more like a 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still feeling
it. It seems pretty mixed. I mean, some people, this is an episode some people really like, and some people definitely do not like. I think I'm with you.
It's the only one I've ever gone lower than an 8. So
for me, I think it was a 6. But
yeah.
But
I mean, the first half of this was awesome. I love
season 1 in general. Man, I don't know. I think I'm like an 8.2 or something.
Yeah. I'm even a little higher than that. Yeah, I'm so Sanderson said 6 was his favorite. Okay. I wonder what anyone, because he's been out there recently talking a lot about some of what he liked and what he didn't like. And so some of the stuff, like, for example, he suggested that Rafe not kill Perrin's wife or use the wife to kind of escalate his story arc, but Luhan, Master Luhan, like, kill him, instead, which was like Perrin's mentor instead,
Yeah, I feel like we're not done with the Layla stuff. I think it's gonna come back up later and be a thing.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that other people. It was nice to hear he like Perrin and Egwene were settled and they were good and everything seemed to be patched up, and then they're gonna, like, that we can move on from that, but Perrin still has to deal with Layla and her loss, and then maybe acquiring, like, if and I say acquiring, sorry, the story will acquire a new character, Fael, and Fael will come into this hopefully, and we'll get kind of we'll see what we'll see how that goes. We'll see how she handles the idea that he accidentally killed his wife. Does he tell her? Does he lie to her? Does he not disclose that information? That'll all be really interesting. So
yeah, I will say again, I need a second watch on this. I definitely need a second watch on this.
Well,
I do believe
we're gonna
we
have
will be
a
having
second
a second
opinion coming in.
a second opinion here coming in here. Shoot, did you set that up? Did we send the
Yep,
link?
I got him the link. So we're gonna have Sir Ryan come in here in just a few minutes, guys, and then Sir Ezra's gonna pop out just because it's 3:00 in the morning.
As man up. Okay,
I
I don't know how many times I gotta say it, but
I know.
it's all
Just
right. It's all
hey,
right. You have some editing to do tomorrow, so
well, that's what I was gonna say. I've got to get the Christmas episode, and I got to get this episode out. Yeah. Hey, and also I'll say this: it's kind of like I don't want to burn out like the freaking girls did, man. That one
right.
chick completely burns out. The one on the far right, she's gone. And then, lady, did all three of them die, Matt? Did all three of those
I
individuals
think
burn
so.
out?
I do believe so.
Because we saw Leandrin get close, and I'm
Right.
getting close. But I'm just saying that was intense that they showed us that. Like they went to that level. Someone said that you can't burn it. In the comments, let me know. In the books, can you burn out when you're linked like
Together.
that?
Could they
I
all
don't know if
burn
that's a
out?
thing. I don't
I would
know.
feel I don't
I
know.
can't remember if that was a thing in the books. That there's a lot of technicalities and a lot of rules surrounding linking and the number, how big the circle is, and all that kind of stuff. Was
Right.
cool that they kind of formed that circle.
And
though.
Nynaeve may have actually died. And they didn't really. What some people were saying. To me, it doesn't really matter whether she actually died or not, because but Egwene saves her.
Right.
So regardless, hey, shout out to Stephanie here. You got to remember, this wasn't just an adaptation of just the Eye of the World, but the series as a whole. I'm very interested to see where we go from here. Yeah, because there was a little bit of new spring stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And we've talked about it. I think power scaling wise, they're way further along, and some stuff character development wise, they're way further along. Like Nynaeve and Lan's relationship is way further along than it is by the end of the Eye of the World, like way further, which is fine. I'm here for it.
Right. Yeah. No. And I appreciate Stephanie putting this comment up here, and thank you so much, because like I do always try to be optimistic and pull the best from the episode. And this is definitely an adaptation of the Eye of the World. And they're pulling from the whole series, and Rafe has said that he's trying to make something that's new, but that it expands the story as it show us those, like it showed us inside Faldara during this time. We did not get to see this. So I always look at that as a positive and a bonus. Like we get to see Uno and what would have been an Inktar, or Lord Agamar doing his thing there. By the way, God, is Lord Agamar dead?
He's a goner.
Did he die? That went right through his chest. Right. So there's a lot of things going on there. But again, Stephanie, thank you, because I always try to take that approach too, which is just like let's pull from the best bits here, and what do we like about it, and then we can improve here.
So, hey, some people are saying dead is dead. If it's impossible to heal, if it is possible to heal dead people, they need to balefire everything. And there is a moment later, and I make jokes about it on the podcast all the time, about Deader and that girl Rand tried to revive with Kalendor, which is in like book 4. Beginning of book 4, where this girl's dead, and he tries to bring her back from the dead, and he can't. So maybe Nynaeve's not like fully dead, and Egwene heals her. I don't know. That I just sort of viewed that as what it is. I guess I'm not reading nearly as much into that one particular moment, I suppose.
Well, yeah, and then being burnt out, we don't really, I mean, it looks like I don't know what that really does to your insides, or the whole, I don't know how it all, the anatomy of it. And I thought the moment with like Egwene healing her, like you'd get that graphic, like how Nynaeve kind of, or the CGI where she does that big healing bubble, right? And it healed a lot of people. I guess they didn't want everyone else there healed, just Nynaeve, right? I mean, so yeah, I thought that was interesting. She was just mostly dead.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying just mostly dead.
What does that even mean? Goodness.
If Moraine isn't healed in the first episode of season 2, I'm out. I'm sorry, but she's my favorite character.
Well, and again,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, that's off-putting. Matt. That's the thing. We love Moraine, and it is just kind of strange that she's been stilled. Like just, I didn't think she was stilled. I thought she's defeated. It's whatever. She's lost Rand. She's going to give that whole speech, but she's not stilled. The extra like punch to the gut is that she's stilled, which now has me just thinking about all the different ways in which she can get her power back. So yeah, I'm with that commenter. Like, I think, yeah, we got to get it back soon.
Right.
So
So what do you think, by the way, of they're doing a lot of, because there's moments later with Moraine where something similar may happen in the books, and
yeah,
like, I don't know. I feel like we talked about this a little bit earlier. The sort of shock, like, so in episode 4, Nynaeve heals everyone, but that we think
yeah,
is dead. And then
right,
here Egwene does it.
right,
Once you've kind of done that, if you do it again, then it sort of loses it's kind of like, in Superman 2, whichever cut it is, the Richard
right.
Donner cut or the original cut, where he just reverses time, and it's like, well, that's the same thing he did in Superman 1, right? And so
Right,
it just doesn't feel as cool. So,
right.
I mean,
That's why I think she might not go just get healed by Nynaeve. I think she'll try to find her own clever way, and there's other realms, there's other places she can go for magic and power or gifts or whatever. I think that's where we're going to get into different realms, and I think she might do that earlier than we think.
so did the Dark One win or lose? I'm confused. Actually, I've seen a handful of comments of there.
Right. Again, so she said it seems like, so let's explain the stone, the Quindiar. I think, and if I hope I'm saying that right, it's Heartstone, and it was made with the one power. It's indestructible. Nothing can scratch it. It can't be broken. Um, you talk about like a lot of the swords and weapons back in the day were power wrought, made with the power, but this was a special stone that was made with the power that could not be broken. And they used 7 seals on the Dark One's prison, and he's sealed that way. Those seals, that crack that we saw, basically is, I think they're trying to represent there that the Dark One's prison has been broken, and that by getting Rand there, that's what we all thought. It's a trigger that triggered this release. So yeah, I feel like that's where we're at with that. I mean, that's why they showed that. That was to, again, they don't really explain. They do talk about it. What could this mean? And you're supposed to kind of infer that, okay, something's wrong, something way more power. Either Rand's super powerful or this triggered something. You go back to Podon Fane's comment about the Taviran and him being the dragon, and how the Dark One needed them as well and wanted them there. I guess that's part of what that was all about. So
Yeah, and it's so yeah. Do you? And I'll ask the chat too. Do you guys think? Because I do think some of this stuff went over people's heads,
yeah, for you mean
especially
just for
non-book readers.
non-book readers? I think the parts that did are, again, explaining, understanding who. Now they did a good job of Matt. So they had the guy with the fire eyes, right? He shoots an
Yes,
arrow into him, and he becomes someone else in the dream.
that was cool.
That was good because that helps you bridge that gap of like, this is a fiery-eyed guy who's now played by a normal person, and he's dressed like that guy from the beginning. So you start to kind of, because I think of your mom
Yes,
who watches the series, right? Trying to put those pieces
she's gonna
together.
ask me all the questions. Yeah.
Right, which is great. Yeah, no. So
But I will say the people that have, so um like my fiance is watching it, her family's actually watching it, and they're like asking me a lot of questions. They're like, "So wait,
yeah,
what happens here? What's happens here?" And they're like not the kind of people, because they watch like Game of Thrones, they're just like watched it, whatever.
right.
But they like are intrigued by this work, like they are intrigued and want to know a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
So that is, I do find that interesting, that non-real, I mean, like you're talking like the ultra mainstream people are getting more and more sort of intrigued by it, which I do think is a good thing for the show. And I will say, again, just because there's a lot of, in the chat, people sort of, a lot of different opinions. I still feel like season 1 is a big success,
Oh yeah.
just because
Yeah.
I think I'm more in the camp where I wasn't particularly fond of this episode, but that doesn't mean I'm not particularly fond of the series, for sure.
And do you think it'll grow on you? Do you think it'll grow on you?
This episode,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know. It's going to be one episode. By the time this is done, we're at least getting 3 seasons. So by the time it's done, it's gonna be one episode out of what, 24
Yeah.
at least. So
Right. Right.
maybe not. I don't know.
Well, hey, before I jump off, I want to hear what Ryan has to say. I want to hear his thoughts.
All right, guys. Well, that's definitely certainly part one of our thing, and we're gonna pop in right here, add in Ryan. So for those of you guys listening on the podcast, be sure to click over to part 2 so you can check that out. So let's go ahead and bring in Ryan and get to part 2 of the show. And here he is, Ryan, fresh off the episode, man. I think I'm sort of in the camp where I wasn't particularly fond of it. Ez is in the camp where he was. Where are you at, man?
All right. So I got through the episode the same time that you guys did. Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for welcoming me in. And actually, I do want to take a moment before we get into this to thank both of you guys and the community that you've created, all the people in the comments that have had nice things to say to me, because this is something that's new to me, being live, so I'm a little bit nervous. And I'm very grateful. I'm happy I could help you guys. I'm glad that you guys give me the opportunity to come in here.
Man, absolutely. We
so
love it.
Much fun, great community. I love it. It's great. This episode, here's where I'm at, and I'm glad that I didn't have to jump on right away like you guys did, because right away I was really disappointed, but it's only because of how it ended. I go back and look at the episode. Thank you, Mantis. I love that name too. Mm-hmm. Every time I see his name pop up in the comments.
Yeah.
As I sat there and thought about the episode, there was a lot of really good in this episode. I really like what they did with the horn. It's different from the books, but it doesn't take away.
Right.
We didn't have the time to do what they did with the horn in the books, and maybe there was different plan if the situation with Matt doesn't go that way.
Right.
The ending, I'm not mad at the ending. I don't even want to say I'm let down. I'm just disappointed that it was so mild. Like you were talking about, as in the book, it's so epic. Rand really, I don't even know if you could call it Rand leveling up. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just trusts, I'm going for it. You're this big, powerful evil. I have to just dive in, and what happens. And it's so epic in the book. But again, this is a TV show, so we have to keep that in our mind. We got to step away and understand that a show is going to make some changes. I don't like it, but I'm okay with it. What they did with the actor who plays the Dark One, when they get rid of that, and I don't even want to call it cringy. Yeah. When we first see him in the first couple episodes, just that quick little snippet of him, with the cartoonish face and the fire eyes.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't the cartoon. And maybe that's not the right word to use. I wish it would have been a little bit more whatever, but the fact that they get rid of that right away in this episode, I'm really grateful for it. And the fact that they give it, I think putting a human face on that character really gives some more power, and his calmness and his demeanor. And he's just like, there's nothing that you can do to me. And he just so simply takes care of Moraine. I really like what they did with his character. And then the whole interaction with Rand and that field with the baby. And there's so much to this episode that I really like. Even the battle outside of the Blight and the eye, all of that's great. I see some people weren't a fan of how they handled things with the women, locking together, but it's a little bit of a callback to what we see earlier when they need 3 and more women just to hold Logain down.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. I it's different from the book, so part of me is like, whatever, but I liked it because, like someone else said, the lightning coming down and just wrecking those Trollocs and you see it flying. I love that. That was great.
Yeah.
The season, I loved the season. They did a great job thinking about all that they had to put into 8 one-hour episodes.
Right.
I think they did a really good job. There was some things that I wish they would have done differently. I wish we'd have gotten more lore or backstory on the Forsaken and the Dark Ones, and that was something that I commented on
that.
But I think part of why this ending was so mild and so quick is probably the better word to use, right, is because they didn't build it up to be anything special. And that's probably something they're planning to do in these future, at least in the next season, when we start diving into the history of the Forsaken and what happened with Luz Theremin, you know, and Adamant, if that's how you want to say it. Are we going to get the Green Man next year? Are we going to have a battle where they ran? Well, if they decide to introduce us to a couple of the Forsaken, are we going to get?
Yeah.
I don't know how they could do it, but I mean, the Green Man's probably going to be something that people are screaming, "Hey, we wanted to see him." Maybe they'll decide to add him in.
Ryan,
I don't know.
Hey,
they got a lot of different places they can go.
First of all, I'm glad I stuck around because Ryan has got me fired up once again. Okay, because here's the thing. And sorry if I break up a little bit. You guys hear me? Okay? Am I breaking up?
Yeah,
a
we
little bit?
can hear you now.
You're back.
Just for a second.
All right, I'm back. All right, I'm breaking up. All right, but let me tell you this. So the beginning of the episode, like you said, it hits, and you forget about that because of the ending, and you go back and you're like, wow, it did hit when they. Matt was on here with me when they got the hammers out and started pulling up the Horn of Valir. I about lost my ever-living mind.
The Horn of freaking Valir, I think, is what Uno said.
What did I just say? What did I say?
No, I think Uno said the Horn of. Did he say the?
Horn?
He said the. He didn't say the F word, but he said did he say
horn,
freaking?
Yeah.
He didn't say freaking. Did I have to go back and look exactly?
Bloody,
I think he did.
The bloody horn or something.
Yeah, he said something. The bloody horn of Valir. Yeah,
man, it was
great.
But you're right. It's like those moments are there, and it was building. It was awesome, and then you do get kind of this. Stephanie said it earlier too. The eye of the world when you finish reading the book, it is meant to be kind of confusing. You're sort of like, wait, what? Did we win? Did we not win?
Jimmy.
So yeah.
Love Jimmy. Go follow Jimmy's show.
Absolutely. Everybody go check out the fantasy note. You know, I'll get that pulled up, by the way, while you guys are going here.
Oh my God. So I'll just read he said what did he say? He said something about Rafe.
This is why Rafe was eliminated from Survivor.
Oh my God, Jimmy, what the heck? But yeah, no, back to what you were saying, Ryan, just in terms of like this episode and how it was pieced together. Really good point about the Forsaken, about the Dark One and him having a face. Matt and I happened to see a leak beforehand. And the first moment I saw him, I was like, chills. Saw the jacket, saw the suit. I was like, holy smokes. I mean, it's chilling. And the actor does a great job, humanizes it. It feels more real. I actually like that because in the book, it is just a Balsamon, dark, fiery-eyed character. And it's a bit crazy. So
So let's just pull it up. So everyone, here is our fearless show leader.
Oh my God, we're gonna get shut down.
He was a contestant on Survivor, right? Oh no! Oh no! Oh,
no,
this is for the people who hated the episode. I'm gonna give them just a little bit of light here. Okay, here we go, Rafe. You can make it. You can make it across. You can give us the show we want. Okay, finish season 1, Rafe. Rafe, no,
Hold on.
No.
You know, the rumor was that Rafe was going to come on your show at some point over the break to do an interview. If you guys could have gotten up to like 250, 300 people viewing live, but after that, you guys are out.
No,
We're out.
He's gone.
We're out.
He's gone. His light was literally extinguished. Okay, he literally. How can he serve the light when his light was extinguished?
It's all making sense now. You know, it's all making. Oh God. You guys, that's unreal. That is unreal. No, I do think again, he wanted more. Rafe did want more time for this. Wanted more episodes. Wanted that opener. I feel like he's doing a great job. We're poking.
I do. I do overall think. I do overall like the season. And again, it's a tall task to sort of do this. And I think there was an Amazon quote where they said they're committed to doing this. And I think, even some of the issues I have with season 1, I'm willing to see how it looks at the end of season 2. Because I give pretty much any show, for me, any show I'm willing to give to a season 2, because you do your season 1, then you get all the feedback, you use that feedback to change and try to sort of make it, to make it better. So,
yeah.
I think we're all on Rafe's side here. We want the best show we can get, and
that's right.
Watching this season, I'm happy. There's a lot I really liked about it.
Right.
So I think we're all here to encourage Rafe, and not we are just joking.
Yeah.
But
because it's just jarring. It's just been a jarring end, and I think I'm sitting here still like I almost am anxious to go rewatch it again and ask,
and I'll agree here too. And a lot of, we've been saying 8 episodes a season might be the thing, but man, I got to say, I really think as we push forward, especially because we're really only through one book, somewhere something's getting cut like significantly, right?
Yeah.
And I almost feel like going forward, we do almost need 10 episodes a season. I think 10 episodes would serve a lot of purposes. One, as we get further and further into the books, stuff's going to start getting axed, and we're going to need to sort of start preserving stuff and shifting stuff around and making that all work. But the other thing is, especially as we talked about it this episode with Perrin a little bit, giving enough time for characters' stories to kind of develop and stuff like that, especially as we get even further spread away from each other, is going to be important. And I really feel like 10 episodes would really assist that.
What Game of Thrones was 8, wasn't it?
No, Game of Thrones,
they were always 10.
Game of Thrones was 10, the last two were shorter.
Seasons, yeah.
Okay. I mean, if Game of Thrones can get 10, this was the number. Again, I know Matt talked about some of the competition early on that it's facing, but I feel like the budget's got to go up. I mean, I feel like they've got to.
Oh, it will. I mean, ratings wise, this show is doing well. So they've already greenlit it through season 3. I mean, Amazon, again, remember this is that Amazon as sort of a as like Amazon Prime and studios and stuff like that, they're really behind the curve compared to like Netflix and Disney and HBO, Time Warner Media, in that they're still really new to this, because even though it's like, well, you just make a TV show, you just go hire people, you do whatever you got to do, any of that stuff. Like, Disney's been making movies for a long time. Warner Brothers has been making movies and television for a long time. Like, Amazon's still kind of new to this. Like, they really have only had 4 or 5 like bigger hit shows. They did just buy a movie studio in MGM, so they're going to be getting a lot more talented people. Not that MGM is the greatest movie asset studio to own, but you're going to be bringing in more talented people. So it's good. I think it'll get better. I do think and not that I really thought season 1 was bad or anything, but I do think going forward, production and all this stuff is gonna scale up.
Yeah. Let's talk about one thing too. Just things that need improved or whatever. I want to talk about one character before I pop out of here. Lan. Ryan, what did you think about? I mean, was that like thoughts on Lan this episode? I'm not being funny about that.
No. Yeah.
Because there was a good moment in the beginning, right? It's really good stuff between him and Nynaeve.
Really enjoyed the actor portraying him. Did a great job. They cast him perfectly.
Yeah.
I loved his character arc throughout the season. I was really happy with what they decided to do with the plot dynamic with him and Nynaeve, where instead of pushing it all the way to the end, they started filtering it in a little bit more, and then you get almost that blessing from Moraine, and I think it was last week's episode when she says, I really like her, the wisdom.
Right.
Like I'm wondering in her mind, is she saying, yeah, I'm going to the Eye to die. I'm going to I'm going to shield my bond with him. So when I'm gone, I'm giving him permission. He can go to her.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just in my head, if that's how it went in the books, if that's what they're going to do with the show, but that's just kind of how I'm seeing it. I was a little disappointed in my head after last week. I really thought Lan was going to have a big part to play in what goes on in the Blight / the Eye of the World. And he gets there just at the end. So and with all the action and all the things happening in this episode, they really didn't do anything for his character. He literally just leaves and then shows up at the end. And he's so clutch throughout this whole season. I feel like that was a missed opportunity that they could have really raised him up into an even more, just a BA. Just he goes out there and he does something massive.
Right, because the Dark One kind of mocked Rand when he saw the heron-marked blade, and we got a great comment here from Andrew just saying that the Land and Nynaeve stuff is great, but his action, the blade stuff, the Blade Master bit needs to go up.
Definitely,
right? We need
100%. Yeah, and I'd actually really love to see. I'd really actually love for people who really didn't like the season. What would you do in season 2 differently? Because I'd really like to see what because I know what I would do, but I'm already kind of like it. book club's gonna be book clubs. But I mean, I guess what would you do in season 2? What would your season 2 look like in order to sort of improve it from where you think we're potentially at?
Where we're lacking in this season? That'd be an interesting question to see what people say. And I'm sure you guys will get lots of emails on it and be able to bring it into the podcast. So anyone watching live now, you gotta start listening to the podcast so you can follow along with those.
There we go. Ryan with
here we go. Rand hasn't been trained. Please train him in the sword. Yes, definitely will need that in season 2.
Well, and they're saying though that he's gone, right? He's gone. He has to come back.
He does that in is it book 3 where he says, or no,
it's a little bit. It's a little bit of book 2.
Yeah, he says I have to leave because I don't want to take them down when I go mad, and I don't know how long that lasts. Doesn't seem like it lasts that long before he ends up back together with some of them.
Right. Well, because then the horn and everything gets stolen.
He catches the horn and they catch up with him. I think that's how the book goes. But and I don't think they're going to do that too much. In this, that's a good question. Where are they going to take Matt now at the beginning of next season? Because he doesn't know that the horn's been stolen. What's in his mind? What's his mission?
Are the Reds going to do something with him? Since that was the hint in the last episode. The Dark One, right? If you want to call him that, or Balzman Ashamael, does notice the heron marked blade. Where'd you get that?
Yep.
So that was there.
Yeah, I think there's more healing that needs to be done, right? Like from the White Tower, or some darkness is still there. Hopefully, I mean, Moraine though did say for the Red Aja to go pick him up. I feel like he's gonna avoid them. And from there, who knows?
Yeah.
So,
is there any way you just do the Great Hunt next season?
Just the Great Hunt?
Yeah.
Could you get more than 3 episodes out of it? I mean, after we see how quick they move through these episodes, I mean, maybe 4,
I mean, season one was 1 book. I mean, do you just make season 2 the Great Hunt?
I feel
like it'd slow way down. Like it'd slow way down if you did that.
You would have lots of time for information dumps and to really dig into history and all that, maybe do flashbacks and things, but I can't see that. I think they're gonna blend 2 and 3, like you guys have been saying all along, and even people in the comments all season have been saying.
Yeah, because if you were gonna do just the Great Hunt, as Matt is suggesting, you've got to get
an idea. Just
as an idea. Kyrian, you could do a bit more there at the Game of Houses, kind of, or whatever. Matt goes to Camelin and figures out stuff's not, going well there. I think
we do need to pull in Elaine and the Queen and all that.
Yeah.
So maybe we get a lot of book 2 and maybe not so much of book 3 if they're going to blend.
Well, because just thinking about what they did with season 1, and I guess if you want season 1 to just be sort of the eye of the world, that's fine. But a lot of the character development and power scaling, I would say, again, I've said this before, is way further along. So if season 2 is just sort of the Great Hunt's plot, but you're pulling forward character development and plot and stuff like that, then how would it look? Because again, even my idea of blending 2 and 3, it still ends for me with really the ending of book 2, which is the Horn of Valir has to sound. And I think that's 100% happening now, especially since Padan Fain took it. Like, it's definitely going to end with us getting the horn and then using it, right?
Oh yeah.
And so Kalendor may actually not even be involved, which I've been kind of thinking. I've kind of thought you take that and have the ending of 2 and 3, because it's kind of the same thing happens. Is like everyone's on the outside doing stuff. Rand's like one-on-one with somebody at the end of really both 2 and 3.
Yep.
And just in 3, it's Kalendor. So I've kind of really thought they're kind of like the same.
Right.
In terms of just the way the scenes are structured. And I think for TV, it's easy to sort of just blend those into one thing.
And think about this in the Great Hunt. Remember, Moiraine goes away, essentially. She's not even necessarily in the book at all. So they've set us up for that. Like now Varen could step in. I think they might actually do that and bring Varen in and make her kind of filling. But then it's like you didn't see her woven into that circle with Suan. Maybe Suan says Moiraine is gone and I need you in on some of this, because it's just weird. But she's gone for like a whole book and then comes back. I mean, at the end, she's there. Don't get me wrong, but not much is going on with Moiraine. So
yeah.
Wayne,
I need a lot of people are saying this is where I'm at too, is you spend a lot of time at the tower with the girls and you can lore dump a lot of stuff, which then once you've done it, you don't necessarily have to go back to it. And then it's all sort of explained, which I do think is one of the issues a little bit with season 1, was like some stuff's happening and you're like, this isn't explained.
Yeah. So, okay, Matt, I have people going from like, we could slow it down like that, do some lore dumping, to then while that's happening, Stephanie's proposing, what if Rand brings the Aiel to fight the invaders? Like full on, we go from slower down on this half of the continent to ramp it up to like stuff way later in the book and just bring them on in and let's go crazy. Because that's the Shan-Chen and like the Aiel have their wise ones and
I like that idea, because I'm trying to think in Rand's mind, what's his next step from where we see him end this episode. He's understands now that he is Aiel.
Yeah.
That might be in his mind. I'm going to go to my homeland and find out what that's about.
What if, what if we're really like, again, what if we start pulling stuff from like book 6 and 8 and 10? I mean, and it's just like,
they're just rewriting the timeline.
I mean, just think about the whole deal. Is they've said we're adapting this whole thing, and they're just like, it doesn't necessarily, because I am okay with the idea that it doesn't necessarily have to go in order, as long as like the heart is there and the story is there and stuff like that. Like so far, I feel like they've mostly gotten the characters down, with kind of the exception of Matt. I feel like Matt is definitely a little different than he is in the books. But like Nynaeve feels like Nynaeve, Lan feels like Lan. I need more Rand for Rand to sort of feel like Rand.
Yeah.
But I feel like we can get that. So yeah, I mean, what if next season we just bring in the Aiel? Yeah, and then
I'd love it.
He goes and fights Cooladin, maybe.
Yeah, that could be a whole arc. I mean, while that's going on, it could be like a Daenerys situation, right? Which is this whole arc goes on in season 2 that's Rand, separate from everyone else doing their thing. So yeah, that'd be cool if they separated the arcs like that. But
it's interesting. Yeah, so definitely a lot of comments here. Like they have to track down Fain and the horn. You notice Fain has the ruby dagger, right? This is how you bring Matt back to track the dagger, because he's sort of bound to it. Let me see here. Will Rand get to Falma or Tyr with Lucas Circus? Oh God, thinking of men's viewing.
Oh my God, that's wild. Bring the circus chapters up. Let's go. Yeah, we're gonna push forward in that direction. Matt's out.
I am 100% out on circus chapters. 100%.
Yeah.
So one of my bigger questions when we think about these future seasons or episodes for Matt is, which season are we going to get to see him? When are we going to let our Matt get to see the show Matt finally get his kill shot on screen? Is that coming next season?
Is he going to fight Couladin? What's the deal?
Yeah, when's it happening? I think they will do. Like, that's the kind of stuff where we've said they can expand. The show can do a better job. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think Ez has to roll out because it's like 3:30 in the morning over there.
Hey, I hung in for an extra half hour. I'm about to burn out. You know what I mean?
That's okay. Ryan and I are here. We will man the ship for a bit. Yeah. For a bit more here.
Ryan, good thoughts. Thanks, guys. Matt, I'll be back. And may the light be with you. All right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Later.
Yeah. So Ryan, what are your thoughts on, I guess, I don't know. Did I ask you this already? What season 1 as a whole?
Yeah, I kind of touched on it on my rant, my positive rant, I guess I'll say.
Right. I may have been manning the chat a little bit. And so
I loved the season. There's so much, it's so much fun to see a season for the first time. Right? We've all watched Game of Thrones more than once. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, run the list off. We've seen them so many times, and even when you're talking about reading books, you're like, man, if I go back and watch that or read that again for the first time, I think it was really good. I really enjoyed it. There's so little amount of things that I had issues with, and most of them were just things in my head from expectations that I wanted when I was thinking about the show to come, right before the show was launched. I'm not going to let the ending of this get me down. I think season 2 and season 3 are probably going to be better. I mean, I think that's an easy expectation to have. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Matt, how that goes, how they explain that, if they do anything with that, where they're going to take these characters. How much more Rand are we going to get in season 2 to really build him up, since they kept him kind of off to the side a little bit for most of the season. There's so much in this episode that I wrote down that I really
liked. What did you think of the pace of the episode? Because I kind of thought it was like, it's kind of fast and maybe a little jerky.
It does. The middle of the episode, the thing that I didn't like was like you touched on earlier, when they shove the sword right through Moraine's mouth, and then you're like, well, this is going to be a dream. There's no way they're going to do this. Right. Like, they're not going to kill her off, but if this isn't a dream, well, they're going to somehow have Rand have the power to bring her back. And I'm like, that it, and you quickly realize, okay, yeah, this is just going to be a dream, but it didn't do anything for me. Like you touched on, it kind of burned down on it. And it did kind of call back the scene when they kill off Dana is it episode 3 or maybe it's 2, it's the same way. So it takes me back to that. And then I'm starting to think about the Aiel in the cage and Tom and where's Tom? What's Tom's role going to be? How's he going to come back into the fold?
We're definitely going to
kind of pull me out.
We're going to get more Tom, right. So really the two characters we'll be adding more of next season will be Tom and Matt.
I think, and I think they're going to be together.
Yes.
Like, I think right away they're going to run into each other. Because in the book, it's Rand it's just Matt, right? Perrin's not with him. I'm getting it back. They're all three together.
Right. Well, Rand really runs into Tom when he's doing Deus de Mar.
In that mansion.
In the mansion, right, with all the ladies that are all.
We're all three boys together in that city, or is it just Matt and Rand? I feel like it's just Matt and Rand. I don't know where Perrin would be.
I don't remember specifically about that, but I do remember that's where.
Maybe they could tell us in the chat. We forgot.
Right. But then Matt and Tom go on like a bunch of adventures.
Right.
Definitely go on a bunch of adventures together. And I do think that's going to be interesting dynamic, because I actually really liked the actor who played Tom, and I do think Tom is one of my favorite characters in the books, and I think he's very important going forward. And so having him on screen more next season, I think will be a really good thing.
One thing that kind of surprised me, and in my head I expected to see a lot more of that we didn't get, was song, right? We get Tom with his soft, beautiful song when he's in the tavern with Dana in that episode, and then we get the group singing about Manetheren, and then that's it. We don't get any more music, right? And after you get those, and they're so heartfelt, and they're giving us information, they're building up story. I thought I expected, and I believed we were going to get not a lot of that, but we were going to see that a few more times, and I'm surprised now, just reminding myself of it, that we didn't get it, because I did at some point believe we would. We probably will.
Yeah, we probably will. And I think that, and I'm trying to figure out how exactly to sort of word this, because I do feel like the balancing act that they, you have to do, which is how do you world build and build characters and build plot, because you have to sort of devote time to each, and the things they chose. I will say, for me, this is probably my biggest criticism of season 1, and I've already kind of said it, is I don't feel like they necessarily took the time to explain like why some things were happening, but not only why some things were happening, but why those things were important. Like the scene where in episode 5, where Lan takes on the grief for everyone, right? And they're doing like the thing at Stefan's funeral. Like, I don't feel like they really explained,
they don't
like,
dive
this
into
is what
it.
They just sort of say it, and you can definitely miss it, and you're like, okay, like I get it. And I feel like they should have spent a little more time just explaining why this is important, because I definitely feel like they haven't. They sort of like sometimes build up the Dark One, but then they're focused on who's the dragon. And it felt like they didn't necessarily know exactly where they wanted their priority to be in terms of what's important. And so much of it is we're trying to do the whole who is the dragon. But then they sort of talk a little bit about like how the dragon was bad, but they never really talked about like why the dragon is super important in order to defeat the Dark One. And so then when we finally see the Dark One in this episode, or the Forsaken, they haven't really spent enough time building up who the Dark One is, to where it's like, it didn't hit exactly hard or right as I sort of thought it should.
There wasn't any build up. I mean,
right
through the whole season, we didn't get a lot of build, because at least for me, I felt like, and I mean, I'm coming from the book, so I know the story, I know all the different characters, but I'm trying to think of, as someone who doesn't know the story, doesn't come from the books, who did you think the villain was going to be? I mean, obviously, you know that the main villain's going to be the guy with the fire eyes, but you only see him a few times, and it's so quick. There's no detail, there's no backstory. You get Padan Fane, but even through the show, if you don't know that what he is from the books, how much do you realize? I mean, they're probably thinking that Matt's probably going to end up being a villain. With what happens in the middle of the season, you've got the Fade that they show, and the Trollocs, but who's? I mean, are they looking at the Fade being the big bad boss that we're gonna have to deal with? There just wasn't a lot. Yeah, they're just they didn't go to those details yet.
Yeah, there's definitely some stumbling points in season 1, but again, I feel like there's definitely still enough. There's enough good there that going forward, okay, begin to fix some things, improve some things, and then you sort of find your stride.
But with all of that,
even Game of Thrones, I mean, it's like season 1, there's a couple sort of missteps and stuff like that. Then you get to season 2, okay, we've kind of got it down. You get to like Battle of Blackwater Bay. It's like the huge explosions. Okay, this show's like, it's got some special stuff. Then it's like season 3 is where it hits its absolute stride. Then like season 4 is like the best season, and then whatever. Then they ran out of source material after that.
I will say, for all of this, they gave us a lot. We got a lot in 8 episodes. If we'd have gotten 10, we probably could have gotten a lot more of what we're saying is missing. And while I think that it is important for people that didn't come from the books, it's probably not that big of a deal, because we're going to get it all next season. And then down the road, when people are rewatching and or they're thinking back, it's all going to make sense. So from our vantage point at this point, I think it seems like a bigger issue than it will be in the end.
Yeah. And remember that season 1 for any television show or Netflix or whatever streaming shows, ultimate goal, the only thing you have to do in a season 1 is get a season 2. That is like survive
in advance.
So many shows just get canceled after a season 1. And once you get it, like, you're good to go. Like, another show I watched, which I've liked. It was like a BBC show called Merlin. I don't know if you're familiar.
I haven't watched it. It's on my list.
Which is it's pretty good, but it's like season 1 and season 2 are like vastly different compared to season 3, or maybe it's season 4. Can't really remember. But at some point they won an award, and like the quality that you're given in like the first like 2 seasons compared to season 3, or it might be season 4. I can't remember exactly which one it is. I mean, it is like night and day. I mean, it is like they just got a huge budget upgrade, and it is like super apparent. And like another show I like, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like the first season, you're like, this is okay. And then they were like, hey, we like it. We think it can go forward. We need to bring in a big star to sort of change it. They go hire Danny DeVito, and the rest is history. So a lot of shows, it's like literally just get to season 2 is that goal. So then you can kind of do that. And we obviously we're already set towards season 3. So we can definitely now reflect, adapt, change.
And a lot of the budget that they put into this season carries over into next season, because a lot of the sets are built up. A lot of the clothing and design and all these different things, those are investments already paid for. So the money that's going to come in can really go to just expand.
Plus, you've already now like created the visual effects that you're going to be using, like even like the CGI and stuff. Like you now not like, well, how are we going to make it look? Now you've already have an established art style, and it's just so much easier, so much quicker, so much faster to do, because you've already done it, and you've already set. Because going into the first season, you're like, well, I don't know, how are we going to make this all look? Art style, clothing, as you said. Now you already have an established look. Okay, now let's improve. We'll definitely.
And the human capital, all the people working, they're comfortable. Right, they got through season 1. They know they're locked in. They've got an idea on what they're going to do. It's so much easier once you get past season 1.
Yeah, Matt did not go back to Faldara. Matt went back to the White Tower. He was at the Waygate. He left, and then we see him staring up at the White Tower. I was hoping for Rand in the sky too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because in the book, it's Rand is the one that sort of saves. That defeats that big Trolloc army, and he doesn't. It's kind of all happening. It's all happening all at once.
And it's how everyone knows. Okay, yeah, this guy really is the dragon, or this guy really could be the dragon, because they're looking at it. They see the battle. They see how he wins, and then they see him turn around and be like, "No, enough of this."
Yeah, what Game of Thrones season 1 was almost perfect. Hey, man. You're not going to find a bigger Game of Thrones guy than me. Go check out Ezra and I's Game of Thrones podcast, Bend the Knee, where we cover the whole deal. But just go look at Tyrion in that pilot episode with that like bleach blonde surfer hair, man. It definitely takes a step up.
The baby face.
It definitely takes a step up.
Let me take a quick aside here right now, because I thought of a question earlier today, and I wanted to throw it at the people in the comments so they can comment in as we continue the conversation. But I was thinking about Christmas gifts earlier today, and I saw someone posted something about the Aes Sedai rings. So if you're looking at this season and you're thinking about what kind of Christmas gifts you would want, would it be the clothing that you see from the show? Would it be the rings? Would it be the Heron sword? Would it be the horn of Valir? What are you looking for?
Well, we still haven't.
We haven't seen the horn, but I would want the horn, and I want to know what people would be looking for, because I think a lot of people would want those rings.
Yeah. I do kind of like the, but I want a Heron marked blade, man. Which again is something I do hope we discuss more. Obviously, and it's
such a big thing in the books, and with what Rand does and Lan does in the I think it'll be big.
Being a blade master is going to be important. First of all, I don't think Loyal's dead. Now look, I would tell you right now, if Loyal is dead, if they legitimately just killed Loyal off, then I am fine saying I'm out on season 2. I mean, I think all the book readers would be like officially done with C's death. Like, I'm out. I'm good. You shut it down. Shut the whole thing down.
Are they going to delay it and not bring it back till episode 2? Make us suffer.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, real quick, just here on this comment. But Game of Thrones does end with such a huge twist. Yeah, I'm not saying Game of Thrones season 1 is bad. It's freaking phenomenal, but it's just like season 2. Season 2 definitely takes it up a big step. Same way I felt about The Witcher. I was like, man, I liked Witcher season 1 and I read those books, but season 2 of The Witcher for me is like, wow, it's just such a step up compared to season 1. Here we go. One small important detail I loved was when Moiraine talks about her struggle with assessing the one power. It is going to be important with Nynaeve in the future seasons. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I like that comment that you guys had earlier where you guys were talking about, is Moiraine going to take on Siwan's role from the books? That's really interesting to think about.
Where she sort of loses her power. Yeah, it could be where Moiraine can't use the power and has to sort of deal with that for a bit. I think you could, to where we're at now in the books. I don't want to go like super spoilery into this because it's such sort of a big important moment. You could have Moiraine continue, really, because she sort of does take a back seat a bit and is really just there more as an advisor, especially in like books 3 and 4 and even 5. Like especially books 4 and 5. She's just kind of there as like as an advisor. Like you almost forget she's there, to be honest. And then what happens to her in book 5, I'm not saying she doesn't do big stuff. She does. There are definitely big moments. I know people in the chat are like, but I do feel like she could still feel that sort of role that she really ultimately kind of serves, which is really kind of an advisor to Rand. Like when they go to Yayo Waste and they're doing all this stuff. Then obviously her ending in book 5, you could still do it. You would have to kind of have it done in a different way.
Right.
Essentially, like with maybe somebody else who can channel, since Moiraine does channel for that moment. With Lanfear. So you could still do that. But so I don't know that it would her arc necessarily has to change without her having the power. I mean, there's definitely moments where she uses like Balefire and stuff like that. Those are important, obviously, but you can I think you can still have her fit her character role and sort of go at it. But ultimately it comes down to, why did they choose to do that is the thing, because it's one thing for us to sit here and say, well, I think this is how they should work it in to make it fit into the books. But it's obvious that they're not necessarily trying to make it fit in the books. They're doing their own thing. So I guess the bigger question is, why did they choose to go down that route?
My thought when I saw that after the episode, are they going to find a way to give her the power back? Is that going to be something at the end of season 2 into season 3 where Rand is leveled up so much that he goes, no, I'm the Dragon Reborn. I control all this power. Watch what I can do. Are they going to bring her back? Because she's such a huge role, especially from season 1. It'd be interesting to see if they go that route.
Right.
I mean, it feels like they have to. If you don't know, well, even if you know the books, it just seems like
maybe their goal isn't to sort of, because there's obviously a big portion of the books where Moiraine is sort of off screen, and she comes back later. Maybe they're not going to do that, because she's too important, or just change the way they do it. Or maybe they're trying to bring that forward a bit so that they can have it be sort of like a big shocker.
Kieran O'Neill asked about the ships, so I wanted to point that comment out so we could touch on that in a minute when we wrap this part of the conversation up just before it gets lost on us, because that's something we could really dive into. But I don't want to leave or abandon what we're talking about here with Moraine. Speaking of Moraine and her channeling, when they start working with those portal stones, when they start traveling with that, because they can't get into the ways, which I assume we'll start seeing here in season 2, does she use the power in that to catch up with them, or was that? I'm trying to remember when they use the portal stones to, and they go into that other dimension, I guess would be the way to phrase
where they see like the multiple lives with Varen.
Right. There's 2 groups that travel, right? You get Rand
so.
initially, and then I'm trying to remember if she...
I think it's the group with Rand. I think it's Rand. Ingtar's there.
The hound, the hound, not the hound, but the sniffer.
Huron. The sniffer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The sniffer.
Yeah. Huron is there. Who I think is going to be cut. I think Huron's going to be a cut character. I think you're just going to have, because later then they do kind of say, well, Perrin can do it. And so I do think that Perrin's just going to end up doing it. But I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, we'd have to go back and
but
look.
Moraine is not with Rand.
No, she'd be in the other party, right? Don't they end up like they're trying to catch up with them and they're traveling through, or maybe it's a different part in the book where they're traveling that way. It's just something that popped in my head, and I was wondering if she used her power to access them. It was just something I wanted to throw in there.
Right.
I don't know what else she would use the power for where we would need it in the show if they're not going to give that back to her.
Yeah, I mean, she uses balefire a couple times.
That's big, because it's not allowed. What do they say in Harry Potter? It's unforgivable.
Unforgivable. Yeah. Right. Yeah, because balefire, especially for those of you guys who are show watchers only, which I know we have in here. It's not super spoiler. It's basically they use like, imagine them using a fireball, but it hits something. And what ends up happening though is that it begins to sort of burn threads in the pattern. And so it basically like ceases that person to sort of exist. So you see it where it attacks somebody and kills somebody basically. And then you can balefire the thing that killed that person. And so then that person gets brought back to life because you basically sort of rewrote time. Essentially.
Yeah. Good comment there. Just it's a good reminder from the book, because that is heavy in the book, and it'll be in. I'm curious if we're going to get that. I was kind of hoping we might get a little bit in this season just to introduce us to it.
Right.
Because for me, I thought that the balefire was something that was big from the books, and I was ready to see it now instead of waiting.
Right. And yeah, and we'll definitely have to see where they go and who the casting is going to be for season 2, and all that stuff, and when season 2 even comes out, right? Which is also going to be the interesting thing, because I think they're in production of it right now. I think they started filming season 2.
I know a lot of shows don't like to air during the summer, but the last season of Game of Thrones did, or one of the last 2 seasons did. Do you think they could push this up to where we start watching it in June or July, or do you think we have to wait for the fall? I mean, maybe not all the way to November, but
it's going to depend on Amazon's Lord of the Rings show, because I feel like you could do those
how long that's going to go. Yeah.
You could do those back to back, but they're obviously not going to air them at the same time. The other thing, which I think it does play a factor and should be something to sort of take into consideration, is Amazon obviously now has sort of Thursday night football rights. And so when you go to Amazon, like it doesn't necessarily advertise Wheel of Time on Thursdays. It's like obviously NFL, because that's nothing makes like no TV show.
Nothing makes
NFL.
Money like NFL.
Yeah, NFL. Yeah. So that could definitely sort of play a role into it. At the same time, though, Amazon does have that ability to say, hey, watch Wheel of Time. You're already watching Prime. You're there, which they're doing right now. But it's a ways into it, and they did it before The Witcher. The other thing is, when does House of the Dragon come out? Because I don't think anything's gonna try and go up against
no
that.
one wants to go up against that.
That would be stupid, because that show's gonna just crush like everything.
I think it will.
I don't think any show is gonna touch House of the Dragon in ratings. I think House of the Dragons will pick right up where Game of Thrones left off.
Yeah.
If not on all, and I mean it in all seriousness, I legitimately, I think it will be especially considering the way a lot of people feel about the last few seasons. I think it stands to be better.
One last thing on Moraine and losing her power. It does call me back to episode 7 when she's talking to Min. She's like, "What do you see when you look at me?" Min sees this is coming. Moraine assumes she's going there to die. Now she's lost the power. She can't touch it. We're told that if you lose that, boy or girl, male or female, you're going to want to die. You can't handle life. You know, men are going to go mad without it. I don't know if that's the same for women in this universe.
And he teases her.
Right, and he does. You could feel it on your fingertips. I love the way he said that. You know, it's just there and you can't touch it.
I actually like this comment right here, Chris McDonald. So in the books, kind of spoil something here just a little bit, is the Nynaeve-Lan relationship. Obviously, like, they're already talking potentially about Nynaeve going to become an Aes Sedai, and Lan belongs to Moraine. Well, right now, he's not bonded to Moraine. So do we just speed along the process, because it takes a lot longer in the books, because he actually gets like warded to somebody else for a bit, and then ultimately I think it's pretty apparent he's going to end up with Nynaeve. So could speed that along, and Lan and Nynaeve's relation, because they're already like way ahead on Lan and Nynaeve's relationship.
And they keep making the comment, you know, wisdoms never marry, right? You hear that drop 2 or 3 times in the season, and then you get the comment at the end. I don't know if it was in this episode. I rewatched episode 7 before this one just to get me into it. They make the comment. Lan tells her, he goes, I wish I could be there. Does he say in this episode or last time? I wish I could be there to meet your, without saying it in so many words, to meet your bonded warder.
Right. Yes. Something like that.
I don't know if it's in this episode or the last one, but they're really building that up for what's to come.
Yeah, and this is still going to have to be a second. This is going to have to be a second watch for me too, and it will definitely come back. Definitely come back for that. So, all right, let's move to a final topic here, and I think this will be kind of a good place to sort of roll out. But before we do that, guys, just real quick for everyone's hanging out here. So next week, I don't know what day we'll be doing sort of a live stream, but Ez and I will be doing one. I know he's sort of traveling next week, coming back. He's in Germany right now, coming back. But Ryan and I next Wednesday are going to be covering the Book of Boba Fett for our Star Wars podcast, Hyperspace Hangout. So we will be going live over there. Does the same time work for you, Ryan, next week to
That's
cover?
Perfect. Let's do it.
What
right?
Same time. So what?
I don't know when
what time
launches.
works for you? So it launches at midnight, so you can watch it as early as you want. Okay. Like midnight, like of the day. So it's like for me, I watch it before I go to work in the morning.
Yep. Whatever works for you. I'm usually kind of a night owl. I stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning. You're a few hours behind me, so whatever works for you and your schedule.
So
just let me know.
would 7 p.m. Eastern? Are you in Eastern time?
Yeah,
right.
That's fine.
Yeah. 7 p.m. Eastern. Perfect. So it'll be same time, and we'll just hop on live. That's over on our Star Wars channel, Hyperspace Hangout, and you guys can all come over and we can all talk the first episode of Book of Boba Fett, and have a big stream party over there as well. So before that, though, let's just dive into sort of one kind of final topic here, and I guess we'll just kind of talk last just sort of thoughts here of the episode, of the season. Just where do we feel about the overall show and going forward? And I guess I'll toss it to you, Ryan.
Yeah, and I've kind of dove into this a little bit so far today. And just real quick, I did say that we wanted to talk about the Damani and the Sean Chan. I
Yeah.
was following the comments. It looks like they, everyone in the comments kind of worked that through. So I don't think we need to dive into that too much. Sounded like the person that made the comment was just questioning if that's what he was looking at. So I think we're fine to save that for another day. Man, I did. I liked the season. As far as things that I was, before the season started, that I was hoping to see, saw most of it. We got a lot of it. The acting was great. The casting was on point for about everybody. I can't, and especially with Matt, I'm so bummed that he's gone, that he left, because he did a great job, and I was his mannerisms and his facial features, the way they designed his hair and the scruff. He was perfect for his character. Took me right into his character from the book, and the way he acted in it. I have big hopes for who's filling his shoes, and I'm sure it'll be great too. I don't think we've seen any reason to doubt that. So I'm bummed. Hopefully everything's good on his end now. I mean, it's been a while since whatever. I know we don't know what the issue is. Hopefully everything's fine there. Other things that we're missing, we didn't get more death. We
Right.
didn't get a lot of Padan Fain. I really thought we were going to see a lot of him in this season, and we didn't.
I felt like it's like you see him, okay, he's there, and then like he's there in that sort of hidden thing. You hear the whistle. Like it's one of those things you really have to sort of pay attention to. But again,
Right.
to me, it sort of fell into that wasn't explained enough category.
About the only thing we get from Padan Fain after his the early part of episode 1 is he's pretty much just there to they're showing the viewer that he's there as the human. And in this episode we get him. He's the human voice that gets them into Faldara. He's the one that's getting them into the ways, that's leading. He's kind of like that early scout that's ahead of the army, right? We get a little bit of that, but we just don't get a lot of his character. I think we will, because he's such a big character. I think we'll see a lot of him in the next couple seasons. For the light and Shinar, when they start screaming that when they run to the gap, I love that. How did he get the dagger?
Wasn't really explained.
Yeah, we don't have that info yet. Did he leave the
dagger? I chalk that up to Barney Harris leaving.
Yeah,
I feel like that was going to be expanded a bit more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, well, for me, ultimately, again, I genuinely enjoyed season 1. I really, man, there was definitely moments in it where I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. A couple moments throughout the whole season where I was like, I don't know, didn't really like that. Like for me, I loved episodes 1 through 3. I genuinely enjoy a lot of the actors. Somebody said the Padan Fain actor was great. A lot of the actors I feel like are spot on.
Really, they are
really
great.
And I really like the casting a lot. There's definitely obviously places where we can improve. I think they need to sign up. It's hard to say like slow down a bit, because it's like, well, we're trying to cram all this stuff in, but at the same time, it's like I feel like it really needs like a minimum of 1 more episode a season, even if we're going to push stuff together, because like it felt like they're trying to do a little too much of like, well, we need to build hype and kind of change stuff, which I'm fine with, like who's the dragon, all that stuff. But then you didn't really explain who the dark one was. We need at least like 1 sort of episode, as even though it could be kind of boring, that's like a lore dump, just to kind of like, and I think we're going to get that in season 2 with the girls at the tower, get a little bit of sort of lore just to sort of build importance to specific things as to why they're important. And like, why should we fear the dark one? All we've heard is that he's really bad.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily show him doing anything. And that's a problem, I think, in anything where it's like, you have to build your villains. For me, it's like some of the best things ever, movies, shows, whatever, are where you have like a super strong villain, because the villain makes it all better. It's why The Dark Knight is like the greatest comic book movie ever, because the Joker in The Dark Knight is just so freaking fantastic that every time they step on screen, you're like, oh my God, I'm like terrified. It's actually one of the things they did very well in Wheel of Time with the White Cloaks. Man, we were all like, I'm really loving the White Cloak sort of angle and arc of this. But then when we get to the Dark one, it didn't hit as hard because they weren't built up except for a couple of visions, and everyone just sang he's powerful. So I think that'll get explained a little bit more. Because we did just see a Forsaken gentle Moraine, so now we have some weight, a little bit of weight to this character, which can get bigger and expanded upon more. I definitely do not think that Loyal is dead.
No.
And then the other thing, definitely, and I'll agree with you, Ryan, here is, man, the biggest kind of letdown in season 1 for me was Rand. There needs to be more Rand. And I get that they're building out the whole, it could be Nynaeve, it could be Egwene, who is the dragon.
Yeah. The mystery of it.
But then when we realize it's Rand, like, I feel like this episode, we get the most Rand we've gotten all season.
I feel like they could have added 20 or 30 minutes to this episode and done so much.
Right. Yeah, even like 10 minutes more to this episode would have it needed a little more room. And then I look back at other parts of the season where I'm like, I think it could have trimmed that down a bit. Like where Steppen died, and they're doing like the scene. Like, it was cool, don't get me wrong, I was there for it. They didn't really necessarily explain like, oh, he's taking on the grief for everyone, and it's a really big deal. I feel like, honestly, a lot of that could have kind of been cut or like shipped out to later, because it's like, okay, we're gonna explain the bond between the Warders and the Aes Sedai, but there's nothing really that's that important after that point about the bond between the Warders and the Aes Sedai. So was that really that important in the first place?
Did we need that much of that episode for it? Yeah,
exactly. Because you could go back and trim a lot of that stuff, and then now you suddenly got like 20 more minutes that you could use to kind of build up stuff and build a villain for later. So I think again, that's stuff you can improve on in season 2 and stuff like that.
I do have one more that I'm disappointed on, and it's not really a disappointment. It's just I'm questioning when we're going to see it. You guys, I mean, we've waited all season to get the Luz Theron. Thank you. I'm getting all the character names mixed up in my head. It's why it's so hard to read this story. Once you get into the later books, there's so many names and they start blending a little bit. Luz Theron, we finally, and I'm fired up that we got it at the beginning of the episode. We only got part of that scene though. When are we going to get the second half of that scene? Because I don't think it's going to start season 2 because there's no context for that. Are they going to throw that in the middle of season 2? Is that coming at the end of season 3?
It's definitely going to happen. Now again, they introduced Luz Theron, which is good. That was a good thing, and now we can expand that out.
Are they going to give us more than just that prologue from the books? Are they going to give us a lot of?
I think so.
You know, 100%. how he came to power, how he controlled. I mean, I like that they gave us a little bit of the.
You see
the men and the women were together, and then now we're going to split.
You see Luz Theron. Rand sees him there at the Eye,
right?
And just for like a quick second. So I think that'll get expanded more.
I think we're going to get a lot of him and his backstory that we don't from the books early on.
Yeah, and another thing that's going to get, I think that'll be much better in season 2 is once we begin to see that, the Forsaken are not the Dark Ones, but they're aspects of them. Because even in the books, it's like the Dark One is just this thing. And it's really the Forsaken that are our villains, that are the ones doing all the bad things, as well as Padan Fain and the White Cloaks. So like the White Cloaks were great this season. The Dark One, which is really just a Forsaken, not so much, because we need to build it up. So as more Forsaken come into play, especially like Lanfear, who's probably going to be in season 2, I think that is where it really begins to. I think it's where it's really going to hit its stride and its shift, because now we sort of now we have the Forsaken as our main villains, who we'll see more regularly, causing trouble, and then that's what causes our heroes to get stronger, because they kill our family, they kill our friends. It's that resolve. It makes us hate them. It makes us want to defeat them. You begin to take the steps along the journey, and that's where it's at. So once the Forsaken show up, which I believe is definitely happening in season 2, we have the Shan Chan coming in as well as sort of another sort of villainous army of bringing.
We're going to have a lot of villains. You know, we're going to have the White Cloaks. We're going to have some Forsaken, probably some. We're going to have the Shan Chan, and then
but we're not always dealing with them.
We've got the Red Cloaks taking over, I'm assuming. You know,
right.
We're going to be all over the map, and I am excited to start learning about the map. Right, we've got all these different regions that we're probably going to start going to. You know, Logain. I mean, they keep hyping it up at a few different points in this season. His army, you know, the Aes Sedai are not well thought of in this world. I mean, whether that's true or not, that's what they're talking about. There's going to be a lot of various wars going on, and we see that in the books. But I think we're going to get a lot of buildup of that coming in season 2.
Yeah, agreed. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I think that's a good place to stop it. Just because I don't know what time it is, but it's 7 o'clock for me, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. Well, I can see on your clock it's 10 o'clock there. But yes, we will be back. We definitely want to bring on more of our Patreon's members to do sort of like a roundtable, get everyone's thoughts. Now I can go back this weekend. Everybody have a great Christmas, great holiday, and we can begin to sort of watch it. And then we'll do definitely like a season 2 or season 1 sort of breakdown. What do we think about the whole thing? Reflect upon it. Season 2 predictions. We've been asked to do a book versus show comparison, which now is like a lot. And then awesome. And then always remember, guys, that this is actually a reread podcast we do as well, where we are going through the books. So we'll actually be jumping right back to picking up right where we left off, which will be we're about to start book 6, which is Lords of Chaos. And wow, just finished the prologue of it, and things get real interesting real fast. So definitely get to go on there. So Ryan, as always, thank you for coming on. Thank you for everyone who's hanging out. I hope you guys have an amazing holidays. Stay tuned. We'll be definitely putting out clips of this podcast, or the whole episode, as well as well, not really predictions, but you know, there's the lore, and we're going to be doing explaining videos and season 2 thoughts and all of that stuff. It's been so much fun covering this season with everybody hopping on and just going live and having all these people in here and everybody. So much fun. Stay tuned. And again, remember, this coming Wednesday, Ryan and I'll be live over on our Star Wars channel, Hyperspace Hangout. Look it up. And we'll be covering Book of Boba Fett. So if you want to come over there, talk some Star Wars, do another one of these hangouts, same time, different place, but it'll be just as absolute fun. So as always, thank you guys. And remember that the grave is no bar to our call.